live. All right, here we go. We've got another exciting global gym battle, Squad Zero versus Smoggin Deck Lab. I think game one is already started. Let's jump right in. Is that game one or game two? All right, I'm gonna have to get confirmation on that. Give me just one moment. All right, we're getting confirmation on apparently game one happened incredibly quickly. I'm not sure what went down, but we are going to put game two on the screen in just a moment. Let me fix that. And we have Zesty, a staple of Squad Zero, going up against Carson from Smoggin Deck Lab. Let me just fix the little game there. Make sure it fits on the screen. We got a bunch of phones of different sizes. All right, so here we go. It looks like we're seeing... Ooh, what is this? It's Eevee and Sylveon. Oh, it's a Sylveon draw deck. Okay, so this is the classic Solgaleo deck with a twist. It seems like now Squad Zero is using Sylveon instead of our beloved mushrooms to pull cards more quickly. Whereas the mushrooms can only pull one Pokemon a turn, but they can keep pulling. Sylveon can pull two cards immediately, two of any card, potentially pulling Professor Oak, giving you more draws. I guess they did some testing and decided that Sylveon's actually better than the mushrooms for extra draws with this deck. They seem to be going up against a very similar idea on the opposing side, but they're using Charizard. Interesting. Okay, so it's a battle of Sylveon Charizard versus Sylveon Solgaleo. That is a really nice way to start things off. I'm excited to see which deck is better. Oh, and they get Zard up. They get Zard up very early. Carson from Smoggin Deck Labs, staying true to their name, have labbed a very successful 5 energy onto that Charizard. That's going to be very difficult to remove. I'm a little bit worried for Squad Zero here. And look, this is a tough spot. Wizard can one-shot anything on the field. And even the mighty Solgaleo will not have a very good time fighting Charizard. I mean, you take 10 recoil damage, then all of a sudden, you're in range of Charizard's attack. Is this just game? Has Smoggin Deck Labs out-labbed Squad Zero? Oh my goodness. Well, let's ask our new Pokemon uh, co-host here. It's Psyduck. I'm sorry, I found a Psyduck puppet like at GoFest, and I had to have it. It's adorable. It's so expressive. I'm just gonna be using Psyduck. Yeah, I know. I'm a little bit of a mess today. Thank you, Psyduck. It's wonderful. I love the Psyduck. All right. Squad Zero seems to be staying in the game, you know, and it's always good to get extra information if you can about your opponent. You know, scout them out, make sure you know what's going on. But it's going to be very difficult, if not outright impossible, to knock out that Zard with Solgaleo. Zard is scary. Zard is scary. At the end of the day, there's no other way to put it. Zard is just a very scary, powerful Pokemon. We're rooting for you, Squad Zero. We believe in you. We believe you can do it. Yeah, the members of Squad Zero were a little nervous about today. I think Smoggin Deck Labs is third in the division right now. Squad Zero used to be first in the division, but they had a very close game against an incredible Japanese team. And then the last time we saw them, they fell behind a little bit against their rival. They've had another game since then. We didn't get to see how that went, but I think they've gone from the best team in the division to having a little bit of trouble. And now, you know, they're trying to hang in there, make a comeback, and prove that no, Squad Zero is the best. So we're rooting for them today. We're rooting for them today. But Smog and Deck Labs doesn't mess around, as we can see. They've got a fantastic team here. Wow, leftovers triggers after the attack. That's genius. So that'll actually negate the recoil damage from Solgaleo. I didn't know that. Oh, legit, I didn't know that. That's cool. That is really cool. Legit. So Charizard can't one-shot it now. And even if they Lily, Solgaleo can still take out Charizard? What? Never count Squad Zero out. Never count Squad Zero out. Oh, that is so cool. But they got another Sylveon for Smog and Deck Labs. That's going to be another 2 cards. Trying to build towards their second Zard, I guess. Yeah, there's the Pokeball. That's got to be a Charmander. Yep, there it is. They could easily have the Rare Candy and the Zard in their hand. There's so many cards in their hand. Zard attacks and Solgaleo manages to hang on by the skin of its teeth, but yeah, there's no healing item. There's no healing item. You know, that Solgaleo is just not gonna be able to attack anymore. But luckily, Squad Zero has a second Solgaleo. Solgaleo number 2. Let's go. Alright, we actually did get confirmation. We got confirmation that Game 1 was actually won by Zesty in Squad Zero. And Smog and Deck Labs chose to replay. Meaning both teams are playing the exact same decks they used in Game 1, which was won by Squad Zero. I'm going to update the score to reflect that. We came in a little bit late. We weren't able to see Game 1, but it was won by Squad Zero. I just got confirmation of that. So I'm updating the score now. There we go. Zesty Squad Zero. Alright, so yeah, I can see why Smog and Deck Labs wanted to do a replay, meaning they're allowed to use the same deck twice, which normally you can't do. But you have these special replay tokens you can play once in a while. It lets you do that. Because yeah, it definitely seems like Charizard has a bit of an advantage against Solgaleo. But alright, so Squad Zero takes the L here, and then Game 2 is going to go to their opponent, Smog and Deck Labs. And now Squad Zero, we'll see if they want to replay. But I think in all probability they're going to go to the next deck. Because Charizard kind of counters Solgaleo. You know, it's super effective. What can you do? It's super effective. Well played to Carson from the Smoggin Deck Lab. I'm just going to put Smoggin for short. There we go. And it's 1-1 going into Game 3. Now remember, Smog and Deck Lab has to keep using the same deck. They have to keep using the Sylveon and Charizard deck. Meanwhile, though, the Mighty Squad Zero has the right to use whatever deck they want. They can pick literally whatever deck they want. Half my face is in shadow. Let me fix that. Oh, no, made it worse. Made it worse. All right, it's just the lighting. It's a little bit glum today. That's all right. Squad Zero bringing out, it looks like an Ultra Beast Poison style deck with a Guzzlord. All right, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And just a reminder to everybody who's watching this live, there is a 10-minute delay, so I can't respond in real time to the chat. I do apologize for that. But if anyone's joining and saying hello, hello. It'd be funny if someone joined right at that moment and they think there's not a delay. But there is a delay. There's a 10-minute delay. Ooh, Squad Zero is not drawing the Nihilgos they need. But meanwhile, Smog and Deck Labs has the Zard. They've got the Eevee. They've got their perfect setup. And Squad Zero's got to go first. Always rough. Always rough to go first. Because you lose out on the energy, right? Going second gives you that first energy. So Squad Zero's got the Celesteela set up, but they're missing the critical Nihilgos they need to really make this deck work. And well, one of the things about this is Zard can one-shot absolutely anything except the Guzzlord. But Guzzlord, you know, it takes a few hits to knock out Zard. Definitely takes a few hits. Eevee uses Collect, just trying to rush to the Zard as quick as possible. There's the Poison Barb. That's going to come in handy. But Squad Zero's got to figure out who they're putting the Poison Barb on. I mean, they still don't have Nihilego. You kind of want Nihilego in this situation. Nihilego attacks Eevee. Eevee's cooked if it stays in the active slot, right? But they don't have it. They don't have it, and they're going first. That means Nihilego is massively behind on energy. Squad Zero is probably going to have to sack a Celesteela or something. I'm actually surprised they're not putting energy on Celesteela itself. Maybe they're predicting that they need to go for some kind of early grind core. You know, try to energy deny. But Carson from Smog and Deck Labs is like, ha ha ha, I don't have drawing problems. I have 2 Eevees. Charizard is stoked and ready to go, and it is not looking good for Squad Zero. This Zard deck is incredible. It's a demon. Look at that thing. It's already up in line. I mean, that's one of the power of running Eevee plus Sylveon. Even if you only get the Eevee, you can still draw, right? And then build up towards your Charizard. Oh. When I get my second Sylveon EX, I'm playing that deck in ranked. That's all I can say. When I get my second Sylveon EX, I'm playing that deck in ranked. Yeah. That's what we're doing. Oh, that looks like a good deck. I kind of want to steal Smog and Deck Labs' deck. We get a really nice Sabrina here. You know, that'll stall, that'll energy deny Smog and Deck Labs for a turn. They're going to have to waste energy retreating. Zard won't be able to attack next turn. It'll have to stoke again. And meanwhile, you know, Guzzlord's slowly getting powered up. It's just not going to be in time is the problem. It's just going to be a little late. There's still no Nihilego. And that means that Squad Zero does not have a way to attack. Unfortunately, you're playing against a deck that is improbable to brick. I wouldn't say impossible, but running double Eevee, double Sylveon with anything, you're not gonna brick. That's what makes it so good, right? I said the Sylveons were S tier in my tier list video. I said it. This is why. This is why people are playing it. Alright, finally we see Nihilego, but it's too late. It's too late because stuff is about to go down. Squad Zero does have a choice, though. They can put Poison Barb on the Celesteela, send that in instead, and start doing 20 cyclical damage to the Charizard. But they chose not to. What? What? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold the phone. Why didn't they use the Poison Barb Celesteela? Am I missing something? I'm staring at the screen trying to figure out how this makes sense. Maybe they were saving it. Maybe they were saving the Poison Barb? I'm not sure what their strategy is. I gotta be honest with you. I'm not seeing it. Alright, Mars goes off, reducing their opponent's hand, but it does run the risk of giving them something new. Hopefully that didn't just give them a Sylveon. That's the thing with Mars. You can never tell. You can never tell with an Eevee deck. You just give them an Oak, a Sylveon, a Pokeball. There's so many things you could shuffle them into. Even giving them 2 new cards is scary. Even giving them 2 new cards from 5 is scary. And you just gotta hope you did enough damage. Just gotta hope. No, you do not put the Poison Barb on the Nihilego. Zesty, don't do it. Don't do it, Zesty. Don't do it, Zesty. No! Why? I don't... I guess they're thinking if there's a Nurse Joy, but you've already gotten into range. I don't... Why tech against Nurse Joy specifically? Because if they Lily, it's fine, right? I don't know. I don't know about that move. I don't know. We've seen this before. When I'm confused, usually they're right. Usually they're right. Sometimes they're not. But usually they're right. But in this particular case, they just Lily the Zard. They're going to be poisoned anyway. I don't see the point of putting Poison Barb on a Pokemon that's about to get Shrek'd by someone who's already poisoned. Well, you could have put it on the Guzzlord. Why poison him a second time? I don't know what the point of that was. And now with Nihilego gone, yeah, this is not looking so good. Alright, Lusamine goes off, putting lots of juicy energy onto the Guzzlord. That's enough energy it can retreat if it wants to. So, you know, there are options. There are options for Squad Zero. They deal some massive damage to the Zard, but because they don't have another Nihilego to replace the one they lost, Zard is gonna get to live and it's gonna get to attack. The only question is, does Smog and Deck Labs have the tech necessary? Fix my mic a little bit here. Have the tech necessary to take over this game? Do they have like a Sabrina or something, a Cyrus? But that won't matter until next turn. I think right now they're just going to attack. Probably. Potentially. We'll see. Yeah, there's the Steam Artillery. That's tons of damage. A lot of juicy damage there. We're probably just going to see Guzzhole immediately retreat into the second Guzzhole. Do you want to retreat here instead of using Celesteela to deliberately dump the energy into your discard pile? Very pro move. The idea being that you could then gift the energy back to your current Guzz. They're going to use Lusamine to do it. I'm a little bit confused why they didn't just grindcore down the Charizard and potentially gift one energy to Celesteela. Not that it would matter in 99 million cases, but they definitely could have oaked at least. I mean, I feel like you didn't need to Lusamine that turn. But then again, they might have read it. Yeah, I'm thinking too much. I'm overthinking it. I think they did the right thing. Charizard is down. The question is, will Smoggin get a second Charizard? If they get a second Charizard, it's all over. They didn't get it. They didn't get the second Zard. Oh, wow. They just put Sylveon forward. They're just trying to tank. They're trying to stall a turn, get Charizard next turn. They don't have it despite all their draws. They don't have either the second Zard or, more likely, I think, the rare candy. They probably don't have the rare candy. Ooh. But the problem is, like I said, they didn't use the Oak last turn. They used Lusamine. And that might have been the right thing to do against a Mars, right? Against a red card, right? You know, that might have been the right move. Especially because you're going to have 2 prize points, so a Mars would have put you down to 1 card. That would have been, you know, pretty bad. But, this is tough. Because you can't fight Sylveon. There's the Mars. Proving that they made the right move. There is the Mars. They got the Cyrus back. Not that it matters. Alright, this is going to draw them, I believe, their last Nihilego. Might as well toss that onto the bench. It can't hurt. There's nothing else going in that slot. Tyrannical Hole activates. And Sylveon is in danger. But Smog and Deck Labs has very few cards that would continue to brick them. I mean, if they draw Sylveon, it's basically an Oak. If they draw Oak, it's literally an Oak. And they just need to keep drawing cards until they get Zard and Rare Candy. That's it. That's win. There it is. Yep, the literal Oak did it. They've got Zard online. The only problem is it doesn't have enough energy to both retreat and attack this turn. So it can only come in, but it can't attack. And that is crucial. That is critical. Smog and Deck Labs draws the last card from their deck. There's literally 0 cards left in their deck. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because Squad Zero is holding the 1 card that they need to finish the game and break this tie. Let's go, Squad Zero. Incredibly well played to Smog and Deck Labs. I mean, oh my goodness, I want to steal your Charizard deck. The second I get a second Sylveon EX, we're going Team Rocket on that deck. We're stealing it. We're stealing it. But for right now, we gotta update the scoreboard because Squad Zero is 2-1. They are back, baby. I'm gonna close out that window. They're 2-1, and they have taken the lead. Carson has been eliminated and sent to the Shadow Realm, with Zested taking 2 games from Smog and Deck Labs. Right, so a reminder, the way this works is that when a player has lost both of their decks, they can no longer pilot. And then the team has to send in someone new to pilot. That person has 2 new decks that they have to play. And then they're locked into those 2 decks until they're defeated. And the first team to eliminate all the team members on the opposing team, 5 players per team, wins the battle. I'm going to check chat real quick. Just give me a moment. Because I can't check in the middle of the game, and I want to see if, folks are chatting with us, so that even if it's a little bit on a delay, I can still say hi to everybody. Praylux! Whoa, what the heck? We've got Praylux in chat. Squad Zero needs this win, rooting for the guys. Let's go, Praylux. We've got the stinking champion in chat. Yo, the champ. Whoa, the champ in chat. All right, that's enough fanning over Praylux for a second. All right, we're just gonna wait for the next game to start. So Zesty has won, right? Zesty has been victorious. Zesty won the game. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, hold on. There's something else I gotta do. There is something else I gotta do. We gotta put this stream places. Well, we gotta let people know that there's actually a stream going on. Hold on a second. I'm always so bad about this. Give me a moment. Just give me a little moment. Live stream. Here we go. I gotta copy this link and put it some places so that people know what we're doing. All right. And then we're just gonna put this little link over in the global gym battles section. Here we go. Squad Zero versus Smoggin. Live streaming. Undo. Copy. Yeah, the thing about being a small streamer is you gotta post all your own stuff. There we go. All right. Looking pretty good. Alrighty, so we're just waiting on them to start the second game. Smog and Deck Labs has got to decide who they're sending in, and whoever they do, they have to be fighting Zested, and they're gonna be fighting the poison deck we just saw. And that's a classic poison deck. I didn't really see any new tech in it. It's just the classic, the Buzzhole Sylveon deck that we've been seeing so far. It's the same deck we've been seeing. There's nothing too new about it. But it's been doing pretty well in the current meta. I think it's been doing really well against, like, the Puff Pokemon, right? Because Nihilgo, you get 2 Nihilgos, you can eat through the Puff Pokemon because they have about 60 health before they evolve. It's pretty good like that. And then, you got the Guzzlord coming in, doing 120 damage. That knocks out Slurpuff. It's a pretty good time, I would say, for the Poison deck. It's doing pretty well in the meta right now. That Zard deck. Oh my goodness. I need a second Sylveon EX. I got one from WonderPix. I need a second one so that I could run that stinking deck that looked so good. Oh, wow, that looked so good. All right. we have got the next game. I'm jumping into it. I'm jumping into it. Here we go. It's Zesty versus their phone size is changed. How is that? Who's their opponent? Who is their opponent? I want to see. Just waiting for. It's Spurific, it looks like. Spurific from Smoggin Deck Labs. Alright, they seem to be going with Froakie and a Psychic Energy. Ooh! Is this that deck I just made a video about? Is this that crazy deck that went 15-0 in the Magma Cup? It's looking like it. Yo, this is that deck. This is that deck. This is the one that I literally just made a video about this deck. Oh my goodness. This deck went 15-0 in a recent tournament, the Magma Cash Cup on Fridays. It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. I literally had to have someone explain it to me in the video because I don't understand it. It's a deck that, like, attacks with one Giratina, but you draw all your cards and somehow get a bunch of Greninjas at the same time. It's crazy. It's insane. It's a really good deck. And they got a really good start, too. I mean, they got the early Giratina, the early Eevee, and the early Froakie. That's a crazy start. They got, like, the best start for the deck, too. Alright, yeah, Smoggin Deck Lab's cooking. They're cooking. I don't know if they lab this deck. I think someone else labbed this deck, but they're definitely cooking. We'll see what they're cooking, though. Yeah, putting Psychic Energy on Giratina. They already have Greninja. They already... That's an on-curve Greninja. Wow. The on-curve Greninja. I mean... Oh... And they've got Water Energy coming up next turn. Oh. What is this? What is this? Smoggin Deck Labs with the RNGG. They're doing so well. I don't know. I have no idea how Squad Zero is gonna contend with this. They got Greninja too quick. Just instant ninja, instant water frog of death. What do you do? Yeah, Celesteela, that's not gonna cut it. I mean, you gotta wonder here, right? What is the play? I guess you could Sabrina and try to poison something down so that Greninja can't get an attack off? Maybe? Squad Zero's clever. They'll figure something out. They'll figure something out. But, this is a tough spot. This is tough. So, Smoggin's doing good. They're attacking. What? Wait, why? But you could have used Sabrina. Why didn't you go for the Sabrina? It would have stopped an attack this turn. I'm confused. I'm a little bit confused by the actions of Squad Zero. Maybe they determined that the frog was just such a big threat that they couldn't beat it and they've given up. I don't know. No, I don't think that's it. It's too early for that. Squad Zero never gives up. They literally are not allowed to surrender. So, I don't know. I mean, they're allowed to, technically, you know, by the rules, but they don't surrender. They keep playing. So, I don't understand this. Why wouldn't you use Sabrina there? There's got to be a reason. They've got to have some kind of clever stratagem. We'll see if we can figure it out. Usually when I don't understand what they're doing, things become clear the next turn, you know? By the next turn, we're like, oh, that's why they did that. It's a 300 IQ play. Or, I still don't know why they did that, and it's a little sus. So, by next turn, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We got a Psyduck peeking in on occasion. I have fun with the Pokemon plushies. They will just pop in all over the screen. Yeah, sure enough, Greninja just knocks out the Nihilego. I mean, Smoggin Deck Labs cooking. Another Nihilego is pretty nice, you know, but the Greninja's still doing really well. Yeah, you got a bit of a choice here. I mean, Okay, yeah, using the Lusamine, powering up the Nihilego. Okay, yeah, I see what they're doing. And now they finish off the Greninja. Okay. Yeah, see what I mean? See what I mean by next turn? By the next turn, we realize it was a good play. Because now Greninja's down. Yeah. They got rid of it. It was a good play. Squad Zero knows what they're doing. Squad Zero, they know what they're doing. Because they got the whole team on the comms doing calculations and stuff. So, you know, that's why these global gym battles are so good. Because the best possible move always gets played. Well, not always, but usually. And sometimes it's something so crazy, like, we can never find it, you know? Alright, what are they doing? What are they doing? Alright, drop another Eevee on the bench. They've already gotten the draw power of one Sylveon. And it looks like with that frontline Froakie, they're either trying to sacrifice the Froakie, you know, just use it as fodder, or alternatively, they're hoping to maybe get a Greninja. One of those two. And, you know, they've already picked up one prize point. They've already knocked out an Nihilego. They just need two more. Just two more prize points, and their Giratina's almost up and running, right? Their Giratina could be up and running next turn. So you gotta be wary. You know, you gotta be a little worried about that. Ooh, Mars. Okay. Okay. I think they just helped Squad Zero out. I think they just helped Squad Zero out. I don't know about you, but it looks to me like that Mars just kind of helped Squad Zero out a little bit. Yeah, gave them the Guzzlord they needed. Now they can tank Giratina. They couldn't do that before. I don't know. I don't know. I think that was not the best Mars. That was not the best Mars. I get why they did it. It looked like the kind of situation where you want to play Mars, but looking at the board, you know, when you again with the weird Nihilego thing, why do you? But you see, they keep doing that, and I keep having questions about it. But this time it makes sense, I think, because what they're gonna do, if Froakie's gonna switch out into Giratina, right? That's what's happening. So the Giratina's gonna come forward, knocked out Nihilego probably. And if it doesn't, it evolves, and then you want to repoison it. I get that. It's still weird to me. I like putting the poison barb on something in the back. I don't like putting it on Nihilego, you know, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Because Squad Zero's been having a lot of success with that. So it's been working for them. It's been working. That weird poison barb Nihilego. You're not poisonous enough, Nihilego. No. You need extra poison. It's not enough that you're a rock solid, poisonous, interdimensional tentacle monster. You need poison barbs too. Speaking of interdimensional monsters, now Giratina's taken the stage. Yeah, this is just going to obliterate Nihilego. It will poison the Giratina, and the Giratina's, you know, it's going to take the recoil damage, so that's going to knock it down. Actually, I think Lusamine just straight up wins here. Yo, Lusamine wins here. If they can get it. Lusamine? Nah, I couldn't get it. Mars is going to be pretty devastating, though. And Grindcore could be really good. Grindcore has a lot of potential. You really want to try to get 2 energy off of Giratina, because there's always a chance that they have Cyrus, right? There's always a chance they win the game on Cyrus. So if you can't win the game right here, you really want to, yeah, put it on the bench. Who cares? Why wouldn't you? Yeah. Whenever they're wiggling like that, it means they're asking the team. They're like, should I? Shouldn't I? Super effective Grindcore, but it doesn't get any energy off. That means they're relying entirely on the Mars to stop Cyrus from happening. Mars is pretty good. It locked them down to 1 card, 2 on the draw. What are the odds one of those 2 measly cards is Cyrus? I feel like Sporific would have played the Cyrus if they had it. You know, why wait? You just instantly win the game. So I'm pretty sure they don't have Cyrus, which means they have a decision. Do they retreat Giratina? Yeah. Just retreating Giratina into Eevee. Just keeping it safe, keeping it calm. They chose to sacrifice Eevee here. It's an interesting decision. I might have actually wanted to sacrifice the Froakie instead, but I think their thinking was that Eevee can survive 2 grind cores, whereas Froakie could only survive 1. Yeah, I got a bit of a choice here. Honestly, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the right move is. Because you play Sabrina, they'll just give you Sylveon, and you're in the same spot, basically. You kind of want to save Sabrina for the position where you're gonna knock out the back line. I would play Oak here, but I don't know. I don't know if it's the right move. I'm not sure if it's the right move. Because if you Sabrina, you get Sylveon, you peg Sylveon now, you put it in threat range for next turn. Yeah, no. Now that I'm thinking about it, Sabrina's the right move. They made the right move. Sabrina's the right move. Because unless they get another Sylveon, it'll put every single enemy Pokemon within KO range. Yeah. Unless they get another Sylveon. And if they get another Sylveon, they might get Cyrus, right? And then they win anyway. So I think that's fair. Alright, Water Energy on Sylveon. Sylveon retreats into Giratina. They've got to have the Cyrus. Did they draw it? Yeah, they drew the Cyrus. They drew the Cyrus. Oh, that's rough. That's rough. It was literally a race to see which team got Cyrus first. And Smog and Deck Labs, they got it first. Well played to Smog and Deck Labs. That's going to tie up the score very neatly. It's going to be a solid 2-2. And the second game is going to go to, sorry, the 4th game. There is a slight error in my game reporting. That should say 3. The 4th game is going to go to Spurific from Smogon Deck Labs. Hopefully I'm spelling their name right. It was just a little blurred on my screen. And this means that now, you know what time it is. It's time for Squad 0 to pick a new player. Zesty and Carson have both been defeated. Carson from Smogon has been defeated, and Zesty from Squad 0 has been defeated. What this means is that Squad 0 now has to pick someone else. But they know what deck they're fighting. They're going to be fighting the deck we just saw. They're going to be fighting the same enemy deck from Smogon Deck Labs. It's going to be the Greninja, Giratina, Sylveon deck. The one that I literally just put a video out on. That deck is crazy. So, Squad Zero's got a chance to strategize. They could be like, okay, what beats that? What beats that? Oh, I think this beats that. Oh, yeah, okay, let's go for that. So they got a chance. They got a chance. I'm going to check the comments real quick, just see what people are saying. Let's see. Nathaniel Sanchez is asking, have come up with a new meta yet for this season? So I think the new meta is evolving around Sylveon. It's definitely evolving around Sylveon. I mean, I feel like I called it there. Every video I put out about this season, I've been saying Sylveon, Sylveon, Sylveon. That's what people are playing. Sylveon is like a better version of the Shiinotic line. It gives you more draws, faster, and you can use the new, one draw attack Eevee to draw even more cards. So it gives you crazy consistency and very fast timing on your decks. It's working really well. I think Sylveon is the new meta. I think Sylveon is definitely the new meta. Some people are playing Incineroar. I think Incineroar has also been really good in the ranked queue. With or without How, with or without the Nani-X. There's been a whole bunch of Incineroar variants, but I think that 2 Incineroar is doing really well right now. Once people stop playing Buzzhole, I don't know if that'll still be the case, because I think Buzzhole is just getting bullied out. I think Buzzhole's done. The age of Buzzhole is probably at an end, but yeah, Incineroar and Sylveon are the meta right now. Definitely. We're gonna take a look and see if they've started the next game. Oh, and they're sending in goons. Then the next game has started. All right. We've got goons versus... Who is this? I gotta wait for the I gotta wait for the game to start before we can see their name. Oh, it's Sporific, obviously, because they were, yeah, it's still Sporific. So, Goons from Squad Zero versus Sporific. Goons is pretty good. I referred to them as like the anchor in the past. Very solid player. Of course, the whole team is playing. Remember, it's not just one person, but the player you see is the pilot. They make the decisions. So if, you know, the team is in a deadlock, if the team can't decide, they're getting stuck. Let me just adjust that slightly because I want it to fit on the screen. There we go. Slight adjustment. The pilot is the one who picks, who makes the decision. So it's an important role. It's an important role. You know, you're the one who's playing the game. With 100 advisors in your ear, basically. Ooh, okay, so they're going for another Solgaleo Sylveon deck. This is interesting, because, you know, you register all the decks beforehand. So Squad Zero had gone into today thinking we want to run multiple Solgaleo Sylveon decks. I'm actually curious to see how this works into the Greninja stuff. Because Greninja is very good, and I think one of the reasons this deck is going to keep getting back... Another on-curve Greninja. But you didn't even use the Sylveon tech yet. How are you this lucky? How are you this lucky? Yeah, Smogon is getting crazy early Greninjas. I don't know how they're doing that, but they didn't get Giratina this time. That's going to make it a little harder. Yeah, it looks like Gren is going to be their main attacker because they just didn't get Giratina. Wow, another on-curve Greninja for Smogon Deck Labs. They're getting really lucky with those. But they didn't get Giratina, and you want an early Giratina with this deck. So that could hurt them a little. That could hurt them a little for sure. Meanwhile, Squad Zero is kind of bricked. I don't know what else to say. They're super bricked right now. No Oak, no Pokeball, no Sylveon. They're just going to have to use their own Eevee and try and get some draws. Battle of the Eevees. Let's go. Alright, a rare candy. That's not useful at the moment at all. But every draw is another wrong card that you won't draw next turn. So, that's really the secret benefit of Eevees, you know. Ooh, Smogon Deck Labs got the first Sylveon. That's going to be 2 cards into their hand. And if they get an Oak, they'll get another 2 cards. Do they have it? They got the Giratina from that. Smogon Deck Labs is popping off right now. That deck is so strong. That deck is so strong. But the thing is, it's not really stronger in terms of draw than what Squad Zero is running. They just got a little bit luckier there. But still, that dual energy deck is very scary. And they get the Oak. Yeah, that's the thing. You Sylveon, that gives you an Oak. You get to play Oak 2. You draw 4 cards in 1 turn. I mean, you gotta be thinking Squad Zero, they got their hand hovering on the Mars now. And the Oak gives you another Sylveon. There's only 4 cards in their deck. This is their 3rd turn of play. This is their 3rd turn of play, and they only have 2 cards left in their stinking deck. That deck is broken. In what universe is that fair? In what reality? If I'm Squad Zero, I'm putting in the Cosmom. Right now. Right now, I'm putting in the Cosmom. Oh, I would have put in the Cosmom. But I would have been wrong to do that. This is why I'm not piloting. This is why I'm not piloting, because I make silly, rash decisions like that. Yeah, the reason Squad Zero's got a bit of a choice now. They could put energy on Eevee, try to draw more. I mean, obviously, they've been much less lucky with the draws, Snowball, than Sporific. But if they put the energy on the Cosmog instead, they might get Double Soul. They might be able to play with Double Soul, which could be really good and necessary against an eventual Giratina. So it's a tough choice. It's definitely a tough choice. Looks like they're going to go for the draw and Mars. Yeah, Mars definitely makes sense. It drew too many cards. Just too many cards. How to put an end to that. Guzma might have also been a good pick there. But I like putting the energy on Eevee. I feel like, you know, Giratina's still a ways off. And you really need to start your own draw snowball. Got an Oak, that's good. That'll help. That'll help a lot. Alright, what's Smoggin gonna do here? What's Smoggin gonna do here? They're thinking about it. Interesting. I would have put it on Giratina. I definitely would have put the energy on Giratina there, but they're actually powering the next Sylveon. I wonder if they just have Sab or Cyrus, and they're like, yeah, I don't actually need Giratina. I can wipe you out just with Sylveon. It's really, really crucial. It's really crucial that Squad Zero gets both Solgaleos up and running. They've got to get both. And the fact that they haven't played Guzma yet means playing that Oak is going to be a little bit risky because it eliminates their ability to play Guzma, and so they can't one-shot that Sylveon in front, which could be pretty bad. A Pokeball is just, I mean, you play it because it gives you an Eevee, right? Or I have that. No, they've already lost all their EVs. So Pokeball's what? Just a dead card? Yeah, it's a dead card, right? Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Wow, how do you brick this hard? How do you brick this hard? This is actually kind of funny though. With Apple plus Stiffen, Silvally can only do 10 damage to Cosmom. That that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. So it heals 10, and then Silvally could do 20. So an effective 10 damage. That's hilarious. That is, I have to say, very funny. But they had the Cyrus, and it's GG. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. They had to get the soul that turn. Oh, and that'll be a win for Smoggin Deck Labs, drawing their entire deck in 3 turns. Oh my goodness, that is broken. To be fair, to be fair, Squad Zero had the same potential to do that, but they just couldn't get the cards they needed. All right. That is going to be game 5, going to Spurific as well from Smoggin. And Squad Zero is starting to fall into the loss column. They're 1 game behind. That's not ideal. You know, and Squad Zero chose that deck. They chose Solgaleo to face that deck. And I don't think it was a bad choice. I think with even luck, they would have won. Because Solgaleo one-shot Sylveon and does well against Giratina. But they did not have remotely good luck. Oh, do they have something similar? Yeah, it seems like they're either doing a replay or they've run 2 copies of the same thing. They're either doing a total replay or they've wait. Yeah, replay. It looks like a replay. Yep, this is a replay. Confirmed. Thank you for confirming. So since this is a replay, that means that Squad Zero has decided that Goons does not want to use their second deck. Their second deck is sent to the Shadow Realm, right? Ghastly has licked it, Haunter has picked it up, and Gengar has eaten it, and it's gone. It's gone. They're just going to use this deck. So when this deck goes down, Guns is done. But in exchange, Guns gets to use this deck again and try once more to defeat Spurific with this deck. I think it's the right call. They were really unlucky last game, and they're basically saying, you know, with fair RNG, we would have won. Let's go again. Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think that's right. But Spurific, once again, getting that Sylveon draw. Insane cards in their hand right now. Look at that. Pokeball goes off. If that's a Giratina. Okay, Froakie, not too bad, not too bad. Giant Cape goes on to Sylveon. try and protect it from being one-shot by Solgaleo is the idea there. Because remember, Solgaleo does 120 damage. But if you add 20 for super effective, now we're talking 140 damage. It one-shot Sylveon unless Sylveon is wearing Cape. Not a bad draw from Squad Zero, but not a good draw either. They really wanted to get an Oak there, maybe some more Pokeballs, right? But they just drew Eevee and an Apple Core. It hurts to see. It hurts to see Squad Zero bricking with an unbrickable deck. That's insanely bad luck. Yeah, they're trying to see where to even attach the energy. I think the answer is you attach it to Sylveon and then try to Sabrina the Froakie if it's still there next turn, but realistically it's going to evolve into Greninja. I honestly don't know. I don't know what they do. Actually, yeah, putting energy on Sylveon makes no sense because it needs psychic energy. They can't even attack with Sylveon. Neither player can attack with... no, that's not true. Smogon can attack with Sylveon. Squad Zero can't. That's the difference, right? Because Smogon's running a dual energy deck. But Squad Zero has to run pure metal energy because of Solgaleo. So that's actually a really big disadvantage. That's a big disadvantage for Squad Zero. They can't attack with Sylveon. Okay, I want to be clear about this. The odds of Smogon being able to do that with Greninja are the same as the odds of Squad Zero being able to do that with Solgaleo. This is not, we have not been witnessing even luck. The odds are exactly the same. The odds, and they have Giratina. Wow. That deck is good. But I need to acknowledge that the draw power in both decks, because they're both running Sylveon, are the same. Okay, there we go. Squad Zero's got it. Squad Zero's got it. Putting a little bit of an end to their bad luck streak. This is going to be big. This is going to be big. This is why they played this deck. Even though they bricked last game, this is why they played this deck. Rising Road triggers. Solgaleo roars onto the field. And we talked about this. This is super effective. Not just regular effective. No. This is super effective. I don't know if feeding a lion made of metal and apple core is a good idea. But the item works. As we've seen, it works pretty well. And Soulbreaker goes off. Boom, super effective damage. Sylveon goes down. That's 2 juicy prize points for Squad Zero. Well deserved. They were fighting through a lot of bricks for that. Giratina comes onto the field ready to fight. It kind of has to because, you know, Greninja would get one-shot by the full health Solgaleo, ignoring its recoil thanks to that apple core. I still don't know how feeding a metal lion an apple core makes it not take recoil damage. I get a headache just thinking about it. I love the Psyduck. But Squad Zero just Sabrina's the Greninja anyway and takes it out. Well played. Alright, that's gonna be game 3 to Squad Zero. Something that's bothering me a little bit about all the Sylveons is I feel like the Sylveons are very much win more. Like, the first player to get them just snowballs into their Oaks, snowballs into everything they need. It was kind of what I was worried would happen with Penny. But Sylveon, you can do it without a supporter card, so it's even better. Game 6 goes to Goons from Squad Zero. Well played, Goons. Alright, it's all tied up. It's all tied up. But now, Smogon Deck Labs is going to bring in their second deck. And we get to see what that is. I'm curious to see what this is going to be. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, they've got it already. All right. Well, we'll see right now, apparently. Give me a second. Put that on the screen. There we go. All right. Ooh, dark energy. What are we gonna see with that dark energy there? What are we gonna see with that dark energy there? Hold on. Hold on. Giratina. Giratina Darkrai? We, that deck that doesn't die. Giratina Darkrai comes back. Wow. I mean, it is still meta relevant. The Nihilego version does still work. I've seen it in ranked. I don't know what else to say. It is the deck that never dies. Giratina Darkrai, let's go. But I don't think it beats this. I don't think Giratina Darkrai can defeat Solgaleo Silvally. And I mean, Squad Zero's got a really good hand this time. You know, they were drawing kind of like poop the past two games, right? They were not drawing well. Whether or not they would even get a single evolution was entirely unknown. But ultimately, I think they got a good hand this time. I think they got a pretty good hand this time. Alright, Giratina bellows, Darkrai pokes. It's just the classic Giratina Darkrai doing its thing. But Squad Zero is oh so ready for this. Yeah, I love the wiggle. Because that wiggle tells me that on the comms, they're like, hey, should I do this? Oh, I don't know. Let's calculate 10 turns in advance and find out. Yeah, I think you should go for it. You know, it's the wiggle of communication. Ooh, good Pokeball. That's a good Pokeball. That's going to pull a Kaz. There it is. You can just pop that right on the bench. Beautiful. Beautiful. And then you got the rare candy into the Solgaleo ready to go. That's looking pretty good. Just slap an energy on that. That's going to be attacking very quickly. As early as next turn, in fact. Yeah, I mean, Squad Zero's got their tech up and running. I think the only way that Smogon wins this is by Cyrusing that Eevee. I think they got their eyes, you know, sighted onto the Eevee. If they can Cyrus that, take it out, pick up a prize point, then duel down the Solgaleo with two beefy, you know, Darkrai Tinas, maybe they could take a win. But if Eevee can cute little scamper onto the bench and stay there and hide before the game ends, I think Squad Zero's got this. Wow, they got the dub. Double Solgaleo. This is so good. This is so good. And it's also worth mentioning that Smogon did not draw their Poison Barb. Super, super unlucky. You really want Poison Barb in this matchup because you got Nihilego on the bench, right? Poison Barb is very big. You know, we're talking 40 damage, really. But there's no Poison Barb. Alright, Solgaleo goes in dealing massive damage to Giratina, and it happened before Giratina could finish setting up. So Giratina just doesn't have the ability to get an attack off right now. If they want to attack, they got to switch into Darkrai. Let Darkrai do the attacking. But this is the thing. Solgaleo doesn't have enough damage to one-shot any of these beasts, right? Giratina and Darkrai are too healthy. They're too tanky to be one-shot by Solgaleo. So there's some counterplay. You know, if Smogon has Leaf, if they're running Leaf, Giratina can run away for free, keep its energy. If they're not running Leaf, Giratina's kind of out of the fight, and it's just a Cyrus target like the Eevee, but this Cyrus target is worth 2 prize points instead of 1. Alright, they play Oak, so they're not playing Leaf this turn. Yeah, they just dump the energy. That energy is gone. They're going into Turbo Darkrai. They finally draw their Poison Barb, or they've been holding it. Darkrai pokes. Darkrai's going to attack. And Squad Zero does not have enough energy on their second Solgaleo to follow up. Ooh. They got that Sylveon, though. They got that Sylveon, though. Play the stinking Sylveon. I mean, why wouldn't you play it? You got nothing to lose. Play it. Play it. Play it. No, actually, there is a legitimate reason why not to play it. Because if you draw 2 cards and then you can't play one of them down, then you could get redded out of the card. So it kind of makes sense to save it. But on the other hand, if you don't evolve Eevee, they could Cyrus, poke, and then attack with Darkrai, getting a double attack off. So you probably want to play it. I bet they're having that exact conversation. I bet, like, match to the time, because you saw them, like, take it and remove it in time with what I was saying. I bet they were having that exact conversation. That's funny. They got Goose. They got the Goose. Goose could remove the Poison Barb. That's big. That's big. Alright, Lily goes down. That's going to restore enough health to Solgaleo, but not enough health that it can survive this. If Solgaleo attacks right now, it's not surviving this. Okay. You know, they're committing to the lack of survival. They are committing to their doom. It's going to be 20 poison damage, and Darkrai is fully capable of dealing 100 damage on its own, but more likely than not, they're just going to put that energy on something in the back line, probably the second Darkrai, and they're just going to let Solgaleo go down to poison. Well, I guess the poke would trigger on the second Darkrai too. Either way, Darkrai will knock out Solgaleo. Goons leaking comms when you do that. I can't pause it quickly enough. When you watch the replay of this, keep in mind that if you're live streaming to the live stream and you show your text messages, they can and will appear. Huh. Wait. They just red carded 3 cards. They just red carded 3 cards. And it got rid of Guzma. That was a good red card. That was a lucky red card. That was an incredibly lucky red card. That was potentially a game-winning red card. What the heck? They got rid of the Goose. What happened to the Goose? They didn't get the Goose. No Goose. What are they gonna do without the Goose? With no Guzma, there's no way to get rid of that Poison Barb. It's entirely possible they decide to truck it. Interesting. I would have Sabrina'd here. I would have Sabrina'd here. Because they are going to heal from leftovers back up to 180, but then the Nihilego Poison is going to dock them for 20. Oh, but they still have Sabrina. They still have Sabrina. Yeah, they still have Sabrina. They've taken down a Darkrai. As long as their opponent does not draw another Giratina, they win with Sab. Okay. Yeah, as long as there's no other Giratina, they win with Sab. Cape doesn't matter. There's the Bellow. That's GG. Squad Zero takes the game. Now they get the Goose. That's funny. This was a good match. Both teams played it very well, but I think Squad Zero just had the better matchup. I think Solgaleo just fights this a little bit better. And on top of that, Squad Zero had a very good start. They had a much better hand this time, opening up. They got their Solgaleos early, which they needed. Well played. Well played. Alright, I'm going to update the score. Squad Zero takes the lead, knocking out Spirific. Spirific has been defeated. Though Goons is on their last life, which is important. You know, one more loss and Goons is done, but Spirific has been knocked out. It's a very close game. Very close match between these two teams. Let me update the chat thingy here. Goons has taken game 7. That's 2 in a row from Goons. That's 2 in a row. This is what I expect from Goons. This is why I call Goons the anchor. You know, Before these 2 wins, Squad Zero was behind. After Goons, look, Squad Zero's ahead. Disregarding that I think Goons lost one of those games, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Yeah, no, Goons is very good. Goons is very good. All right, well, we've been seeing some good games, and I think these games are really showing us where the meta is right now. It's definitely in Sylveon land. The meta is Sylveon. Welcome to the world of Sylveon. Population U. Now, with that defeat, Smog and Deck Labs has to pick their next player. Carson is defeated. Sporific is defeated. Who is left? Which mighty player is still alive and can challenge Squad Zero? They've got 3 of them. They've got 3. They've got to decide. In the meantime, I got this unknown W. I should probably take the tags off these guys. It's just they're official like Poké Center tags, so I don't want to take them off because that's just kind of cool. I don't know. It's got the, but it's an unknown. I've got another one somewhere. They're so fun. I love these. All right, hold on. Okay, it looks like each team has 1 replay left. Yeah, each team has 1 replay left. They're discussing with the judges what's going on. Judy! Hold on, Judy? Judy is in Smog and Deca. We're watching Judy? Yo! Wait! What? Legit, we're watching Judy? Hold on. Hold the phone. Judy's playing... I'm killing my voice. What? Wait. What? Oh, this is gonna be good. Goons versus Judy. Let's go. Oh my god. Oh, frick. Wait. Buttons. I gotta push the buttons. It's Judy. Yo. The GOAT. Oh, good luck, Squad Zero. Good luck, Squad Zero. It's Judy. Oh my goodness. I mean, I knew all the best players were in this, but wow. Yo, it's... Okay, what are they running? It looks like the Charizard deck again. Yeah, this looks like the Charizard deck. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, Charizard versus Solgaleo, so Charizard is favored. Charizard is definitely favored. Super effective attack. More damage. I think Zard can even survive with Kate plus Lily. 2 hits. This is gonna be tough. I think they picked a very good team member and a very good deck to claw back the winning position from Squad Zero. It's really interesting how both teams have kind of picked like a particular Sylveon that they put a lot of. Like Squad Zero has a lot of Solgaleo Sylveon, whereas Smog and Deck Labs has a lot of Zard Sylveon. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, there, the snowball has begun. Oak into Sylveon. Happy Ribbon. They got the rare candy. Boom, boom. Cards. Yeah, the snowball has very much begun for Squad Zero, and they needed this. Because the second Zard gets online, you lose. This is not a match that Zard should lose without luck. Squad Zero needed the luck. Whoa! Attack of the Fuzzies. I don't know what happened to Goons' internet. The luck was so good it fried the internet. Apparently, hold on. I see if there's anything I can do. There's nothing I can do. It's happening on their end. I don't know why the streaming quality has suddenly gone down. Goons, fix your internet. Alright, well, we get to watch a blue version graphics. The original Pokemon graphics. Yes, or the original Pokemon graphics until Goons' internet connection restores itself. Alright, so Judy, the famous Judy, has got their Charmanders onto the bench. This is very, very scary for Squad Zero. They were hoping to win before the Charmanders came online. It's not possible now. It's not possible now. There is no winning this before the Charmanders come online. They're here. They have arrived. They are charred. They are mandered. They are ready to go. But Squad Zero is going to get one attack with Solgaleo before this goes down. Alright, there's the collect from Eevee. Just grabbing one more little card for the team before it drops. Squad Zero does not have their second Solgaleo yet, but that's okay. They have time. They don't even need Rare Candy. They will draw it eventually. Rising Road triggers. And Solgaleo rises to the 4. Yeah, I mean, you just Soulbreaker here. And with leftovers, as we've seen, Solgaleo will not be taking any recoil damage. I mean, it'll take it, but it'll immediately heal it up. 1 point for Goons. Incredible against a very, very big disadvantage. I mean, Zard should win this. Wow, Squad Zero only has 4 cards left in their deck. You know, a pretty good odds. Pretty good odds that they get what they need. But Judy also has drawn quite a few cards. Quite a few. So, I bet Squad Zero is really wishing they had Mars. Yeah, it's a bit of a decision for Judy here. Assuming that they have the Zard. If they don't have the Zard, I'm amazed. I don't know how Judy could be that bricked. I've seen Judy play. I've seen Judy go up to like 1800 ELO. Yeah, there's the Rare Candy. They had to have it. Had to have it. There's Zard, and this is gonna be Stoke. I mean, it's gotta be Stoke. Alright, there's the Oak. Do they have a second Zard? They going for double Zard here? They're thinking about it. And it looks like they're not going for double Zard. They're just going for one. Keeping it simple. Stoke goes off. That's going to be enough energy to attack next turn, but not enough energy to finish off Solgaleo. Squad Zero has Sylveon. They're going to pull 2 more cards from their deck. I believe this will leave them with literally 1 card left in their deck. They got the Mars. They got the Rare Candy. But hilariously, they did not draw the remaining Solgaleo. That is funny. Obviously, you play the Mars here. I mean, Judy has 7 cards. 7 cards in their hand. Gotta punish that. Absolutely, we punish in that. Solgaleo uses Soul Breaker, and speaking of punishment, it will not be taking recoil damage, again, because of leftovers, healing that right back up. And Zard is in a tough spot. In order to survive this next attack, Zard would need Lily and Cape. 2 of those 4 cards would have to be perfect. Or, you need Rare Candy Zard, and you have to retreat back into your second Zard and stoke that, but then be in the same position. Very tough. Very tough spot for Judy. I think Squad Zero got lucky this game, and they, yeah, really, I think Smogon should have won this game. Not because of skill, not because of strategy, but just surely because of the matchup. But we saw it before. It happened to Squad Zero earlier, and it happened to the GOAT, Judy, right now. Even the GOAT can crash and brick, and Squad Zero takes another one. with the legendary Goons. The legendary Goons taking a third consecutive game for Squad Zero, bringing Squad Zero 5-3. And that was against Judy. That was against Judy. Judy is getting wrecked. What are we witnessing? What level of play are we on right now? You saw their icons. This is someone who's been at least top 10K every season so far. This is Judy we're talking about. The Judy. But the problem is, no matter how good you are, you can't beat bad luck. And I think Squad Zero was a little lucky last game to make up for when they were unlucky earlier. So it's fair. It balances out, I think. But still, that's gotta hurt. You know, if you're Smog and Deck Labs, you're sending in Judy, and then boom, you brick. Ugh. Ugh. Okay, this looks like a replay, because I'm seeing the same deck. So I bet they're using their second and final replay here. Yeah, I believe that they're using their last replay. So Smog and Deck Labs cannot use any more replays after this. They're basically saying, okay, that game was luck. I'm playing the same deck. And I think it's absolutely the right call. I think it's absolutely the right move. Charizard should win this matchup. As far as I can tell, Charizard should win this matchup. But we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. Alright, Judy once again going first. And you know, oh, yeah, instant rare candy. Instant Zard. There we go. There we go. Making up for the bad luck of last game. Making up for the bad luck of last game. Judy's on fire now. See what I did there? I need a fire type plushie. I've got like a couple of ghosts, an awesome bulb. I've got a Psyduck. More ghosts. I like ghost type Pokemon. They're sneaky. I can't help it. Whatever type this is, it's psychic, but it's unknown, so I'm memeing a little. I need a fire type plushie. One day. One day we will add a fire type to our repertoire. But in the meantime, Judy's thinking. Judy's thinking, where do I put this energy? You put it on Eevee, you could use Collect. Why not? Can't hurt. You could retreat next turn. Might as well. You go into Zard, you might take an attack to the face. But you might not. It's hard to say. Charmander goes down on the bench. Energy goes on to Eevee. Eevee uses Collect. That seems to be the decision. They draw one card and end their turn. Yu-Gi-Oh! Style. Alright, yeah, Squad Zero is leaning on the Sylveon tech here. That'll give them 2 more cards, and they're really hoping for a Solgaleo. Galeo? Yes, they got it! Now with Rare Candy, the Lightning Lion. The Metal Lion, really. But it's lightning because of how fast it came online. Seriously, the Sylveon tech is nuts. Look at how quick everybody's getting their Stage 2 Pokemon. That's going to be 2 energy and Solgaleo with leftovers. You know, basically the Exodia of this deck. Can Rising Road onto the field, obliterate Eevee, and begin the battle. And the funny thing is, because Zard has to spend a turn using Stoke, Solgaleo, despite coming online second, with Rising Road and the fact that it doesn't have to power up, wins the matchup. Technically, because of leftovers. Zard would win with Cape, but it needs Lily. It's so... There's so much here, but because of leftovers and because they got it quick enough, Solgaleo might actually win. Legit, Solgaleo might counter Charizard, as weird as that is. I thought Charizard was better, but thinking it through turn by turn, Solgaleo activates first, doesn't it? I mean, forget Lily, you just Sabrina here. Unless you think they have Leaf, legit, you just Sabrina here and smack Charizard in the face. GG. Right? Yeah, no question. Judy, the GOAT, is getting destroyed. I don't know what I'm witnessing. I think we were all wrong. I think we were all wrong. Solgaleo Silvally counters Zard Silvally. What is this? It's incredible. It's incredible. I've never seen this. But Zard is getting completely walloped by a Steel-type Pokemon. It's just too fast. Judy surrenders! Goons just swept Judy! Nobody sweeps Judy! What? What? Oh, the Squad Zero chat is going crazy. They're all celebrating like they just won the lottery. Oh my goodness. This doesn't happen. This doesn't happen. You're witnessing history. Nobody sweeps Judy. That doesn't happen. Squad Zero, I think, just with the strategic win, realizing that actually, Solgaleo resolves before Zard, and therefore, as long as you get leftovers, defeats Zard. My mind is blown by that. But think about it. Solgaleo needs 2 energy to activate, but even if you put 2 energy on Charizard, it still has to stoke. And Charizard needs the Pokemon in front to retreat, so it can switch into the active slot. Solgaleo doesn't need any of that. It doesn't need a stoke, and it auto puts itself in the active slot. It doesn't need a retreat. So Solgaleo is faster than Charizard, and as long as you have leftovers equipped, you win the trade, because you get to attack first, because Charizard has to spend a turn stoking. So even if you're second, you still attack first. Even if Zard lilies, you take it out next turn. Zard has to have Cape in order to win that engagement. Cape or a preemptive Guzma in order to win that. And Lily. Wow. Goons is once again being Goons. That's all I can say. This is Goons. This is why I call Goons the anchor of Squad Zero. Because when Goons comes to play, even Judy is no match. Again, though, you know, huge props to Judy. Judy's an incredible player. One of the best players. Probably one of the best players I've ever streamed on my channel. But strategically, Squad Zero as a whole came up with this brilliant strategy, and I think it's just better than the Zard deck. I think it's just better than the Zard deck, legit. Oh my goodness. Oh my stinking goodness. Alright, hold on. I gotta get shareable link. GB against Squad Zero. Oh, that was crazy. Yo, that was crazy. Hold on. What happened 10 minutes ago? Alright, yeah, the game was already active 10 minutes ago. Alright. Yeah, 8, and then yep. Alright, so with Judy defeated, Smog and Deck Labs has definitively a tough road ahead of them. They're three games behind. They only have 2 players left. They can only pick one of them. To fight Goons' crazy last deck. And on top of that, they're going to have basically no options going forward. I'm pretty sure they used their last replay. I'm pretty sure that was their last replay. So they got no more replays. Very few players. And they still have to fight through Goons and then 3 more of Squad Zero's members. Squad Zero is going to get multiple counter picks on them. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Smog and Deck Labs. But, you know, teams have come back from this. We're going to see how it goes. Definitely going to see how it goes. Oh, the other game's starting. Hold on. Don't go starting without me, game. Alright, this is game number 10. Smog and Deck Labs really needs this win. They really have to get this win. This is big. This is big. Squad Zero needs this. And Goons needs to fix their internet. Come on. Pokemon Pocket, add a spectator mode so we don't have to look at the pixels. It's not that bad. It's fine. It's blue version. I mean, the graphics are still better than Pokemon Blue. Pokemon Blue was a great game. Best Pokemon game ever. Best Pokemon game ever. I cannot tell you what a joy it was to find Surf. If you know, you know. If you remember what finding Surf was like, or better yet, if you remember what the exit to Viridian Forest looked like, hint, it was a solid black rectangle in the void. That was the exit to Viridian Forest in blue version. Not like the little, cave exit that's all lit up. No. It was a rectangle. Alright, so we got... Wait, legit, what am I looking at? Is this another Zard deck? How many Zard decks are they playing? How many Zard decks are they playing? And also, who's the opponent? It's too blurry, I can't see. Hold on. Oh, this might be a Flareon deck. Yeah, I know, this might be a Flareon. Well, I mean, if you've got to get Mars, that's not an awful way to go. Double Pokeball is pretty good. That's a lot of drawdown, that's a lot of card. You're gonna get your Eevee, you're gonna get your second Cause. That's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, we'll probably teleport into Eevee, I bet. There's an argument that you should keep Cosmog active, but it's tricky. Yeah, no, this is another Zard deck. How many Zard decks did they bring? I gotta say, Smog and Deck Labs must really like this Zard deck. I mean, I really like it too. Just watching it, I think it's crazy good. But I feel like they were out big-brained by Squad Zero, who designed a Solgaleo deck that just counters it, right? But still, if they get Zard up and running in time, and it's looking like they might, once they get a very active Zard, they could still run over Squad Zero. And Squad Zero's in a little bit of trouble right now, right? Squad Zero's in a little bit of a pickle. They don't have Oaks. They don't have Sylveon. They got their Apple Core, which is nice, but if we see Zard right now, this could be GG. That could be GG. Oh, that's not good for Squad Zero. Yeah, if you play the Zard deck enough times, it will finally work. If you throw enough Charizards at a problem. If you have enough Charizards to throw at a problem. I am stoked to see how well you'll do. Alright, so Zard finally has enough energy to start sweeping, and that Eevee is super unhelpful. What this basically means is Squad Zero is going to have to... They won't be able to lose a single Cause. They will not be able to lose a single Solgaleo. They're going to need both of them. Yeah, thinking of playing the Apple Core, just getting it out of their hand. I agree. There's always red card. There's always Mars. We've seen how important that leftovers is. All right, Eevee goes collect. Hopefully it's Solgaleo. There we go. So Solgaleo will activate next turn, but we're gonna see how well Solgaleo does from the back foot. And this is heavy back foot. This is like 2 turns late. This is 2 turns late. Zard came onto the field. Zard used Stoke. Right. This is very, very, very late for Solgaleo to arrive onto the field, and they're going to be down a prize point. Really bad. Can Solgaleo climb out of that position? If it can, Squad Zero is geniuses. All geniuses. If it can't, they're very smart. Possibly geniuses, but not guaranteed. I'm really interested to see if they can win from this spot. Right, because they've got the Solgaleo. They've got it. They've got Guzma in case Cape comes up. But Zard got a very early start. Does the strat still work? Right? Does it still work? I want to see. Now, Smogon's thinking. They're thinking. Oh, it is a Flareon deck. Okay, it's Flareon Zard. Yeah, 150 damage. That Eevee is cooked. Ugh. Nails. Okay, we finally have a player name. Really? No, you can't use that. No, what are you doing? Oh, I get it. They're just gonna Rising Road. Yeah, fair. Fair. They did that for the draws. Makes sense. Makes sense. Good play. Good play. Yeah, now that's me being dumb and Squad Zero being smart. That's all that was. Alright, so Rising Road's gonna come online, and now we're gonna see if the Solgaleo Apple Core can beat Zard from this spot. Honestly, though, I think the fact that there's a Flareon in the background is gonna make all the difference. I think Flareon is gonna win it for Smogon Deck Labs. There's the Apple Core recovery, very smooth. But Zard is still gonna get a crazy good attack, right? That's not going away. The Zard mega attack is still happening. Flareon just gets some energy, doesn't even have to use its ability. Lily goes down. Doesn't matter if you don't have Cape, but might as well play it. They do have Cape. So that means that Guzma will have to be expended, which is important because you can't play Lily and Guzma in the same turn. You cannot play Lily and Guzma in the same turn. So if they don't draw Solgaleo right now, it's over. Can you survive? I don't think you survive in that. I don't think there's a way out. That had to either be Solgaleo or an Oak. Oh, that's not good. No, 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 no. Lily won't save it. Lily won't save it. You gotta dump energy, retreat, sacrifice the Cosmog. I mean, Stiffen won't do anything. They're just evolving and get that out of their hand. Yeah. What Squad Zero is doing, I don't know what they're doing. I think they're playing for like double Lily survival, but it doesn't matter. They've already lost. Yeah. Yeah, and Zard is up to 200. Now that's GG. That's GG. The problem was Squad Zero couldn't get the second Solgaleo. If they had gotten the second Solgaleo in time, they would have been fine. Flareon would have come online, but then it would have got knocked out by the Soul, or there would have been Sab options. Squad Zero could have won that. They could have won that, but they had to have the second Solgaleo, and they didn't. Still, the fact that without Sylveon support, Smogon still managed to get the Flareon and the early Zard. That's pretty crazy. And that's a little lucky. So I think that Zard needs a lot of luck to beat Solgaleo. I thought it was the other way around. I thought Solgaleo needs luck to beat Charizard. It seems like Charizard needs luck to beat Solgaleo. Who knew? Alright, so game number 10 is going to go to Smogon Deck Labs. Well played. Well played. And the cape, obviously, is very big for Charizard in that matchup. You need to have the cape. Alrighty, and the Mighty Goons has finally been dethroned. The Mighty Goons has been defeated. This is game number 10, and that is going to Nails from Smogon Deck Labs. Alright, the score is 6-4. You know, Squad Zero still has a very sizable lead, and now they get to counterpick. They get to pick one of their 3 remaining players to bring forward and send against Smogon. And they know what they're fighting. They know that they're fighting a Charizard Flareon deck. They could send in any one of their 3 players with any one of their decks. Who are they going to pick? We'll find out. We will find out. And who's going to replace Goons? I mean, Goons went on a 4-in-a-row win streak. This is just Goons things. When Goons shows up, that happens. That just happens. Goons is cool like that. But Squad Zero has got to pick another member of their team. It looks like they're still picking. Looks like they're still picking. Let me check the chat real quick, see if anybody's saying anything. Alright, I don't see any questions, so we'll keep talking. Oh, and I do apologize if someone's asking questions on Twitch. Let me check Twitch real quick, because I haven't been as good about checking Twitch. Zeher. Hey, Zeher, how are you doing? Yeah, there's a 10-minute delay, so I have to respond kind of asynchronously. I can't show the decks since this is a competitive format where information is powerful. The players can choose to show the decks when they stream, but I can't ask. Also why I need to use 10-minute delay. Money on the line. Best players in the world fighting, etc. Alright, we've answered the Twitch questions. Let's check in on Squad Zero. It looks like they have chosen the next player. Who's it going to be? Who is it? It is Dark. And their stream isn't bad. Yo, let's go. Dark has fixed their internet. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful. It's lovely and amazing. Thank you for fixing your internet, Dark. All right, last time we spectated Dark, we had some problems. We had some problems. All right, it was unwatchable frame rate. But thankfully, Dark has fixed their internet connection, and now everything is wonderful. It's perfect, and I love it. Alright, so it looks like they've chosen an Oricorio deck. Well, very smart. I mean, for a deck that's entirely Charizard EX and Flareon EX, Oricorio just hard walls everything. Everything. Right? All you need to do is not let Oricorio go down and you win. That's it. GG. Ilma. Ilma? Wait, why is there Ilma? Hold on. What is Squad Zero running? Why do they have Ilma? Wait. Hold on. What? Ilma? 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 Why is there Ilma in this deck? It's an electric deck. They don't have any normal type Pokemon. Do they? Is there secretly a normal type in this deck? I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they're doing it, but I'm very intrigued. I'm very eager to see what the heck we're watching here. I mean, Oricorio alone could possibly solo win this, but what normal type Pokemon do they have? And I mean, this is the trick, right? This is the trick. You gotta do damage to Oricorio. I'm confused why they're putting energy on Eevee. I thought you'd put energy on Charmander and try to drive down Oricorio's health with it. But they're just stacking energy on Eevee. Do they have an evolution that can... Oh, they have a regular Flareon they can use to KO Oricorios. Okay. Okay, so they did have a plan. They did have a plan for the Oricorios. That makes sense. That makes sense. I was surprised. I was like, why would you have a deck with no Oricorio counter and all EX Pokemon? Yeah. It's the classic. One discard, high damage Flareon. That'll roast an Oricorio. Good strategy. Good strategy. All right, they're toying with that Professor Oak there. That's the normal type Pokemon. Snorlax. No way. They put Snorlax EX in an Oricorio mag deck? Is that real? Is that a real deck? Yo! That is funny. That is legit funny. I guess that's why they have Dawn, to try to move energy from the Magneton to the... Oh. I mean, I doubt it's gonna get played, but that is pretty funny. This is actually interesting. This Flareon also has just enough health to survive Magneton. So it could tank Magneton and then retreat backwards into the Zard next turn. This is a good strat. This is a really good strategy from Nails. I thought they didn't have any way to deal with Oricorio, but they've got plays. They've got plays. I don't think the Snorlax is gonna come online. I have some questions about that card. I mean, I don't think they're gonna end up using it, but you know, they could put it on the field. It doesn't hurt at this point. Yeah, just for the lulz. That's pretty funny. I gotta say, that's pretty funny. That is 10 out of 10 hilarious. Alright, that's gonna deal big damage to Flareon. Oricorio can finish it off. But the problem is, because you've wasted a lot of cards on a silly Snorlax and Ilmatech and Dawn, I'm not seeing Sabrinas that would win you the gosh darn game right here. I kind of feel like you need some gosh darn Sabrinas, just saying. I don't know, just saying, it sure would be nice if you had some Sabrinas. So I have some questions about this, but I am here for the gimmicks. I am here for the trolls. It's just, I don't know what functional purpose that serves in this deck. I guess if you draw it first, you stall with it until you get the mags online. But then why do you have Dawn? Like, if you have Dawn, you're clearly planning on it, attacking with it, right? You're clearly thinking about actually attacking with it. I don't know about that. Alright, the Zard has Cape. It's gonna Stoke. Right. It can one-shot this Magneton. We all know it. And that is a Pokeball, not a Sabrina. The Mag is a good draw, but... No... What? You just gonna get roasted by Flareon, though. What are they doing? What are they doing? Why not retreat into Snorlax if you were gonna do that? Tank the hit and then Ilma it back. That's the whole point of this stinking Snorlax. What are you doing? I'm very confused by this maneuver. It seems as though Oricorio has been sacrificed for no clear reason. And they didn't take it. Am I missing something? Do they have more prize points than I thought? Hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me nudge the window up. No, they only have one prize point. They only have one prize point. So what was that? Wait, who won? Why'd they surrender? Am I missing something? Hold on. Huh? Wait. What? Hello? What? Wait. What? How'd they win? Hello? Hold on. Wait, what? I'm very confused. I'm literally asking in chat. I'm literally asking. I can't hear what they're saying, but I can see the text. I'm literally asking what happened, because I'm extraordinarily confused. It looked to me like they won, but I don't know why they surrendered. They were winning, right? Am I out of my mind? Did I miss something? They conceded. Why did they concede? All right, game 11 is won by Dark from Squad Zero, but I don't know why. I don't know how. Hold on. Okay, I think the baby Flareon just didn't have enough energy to attack. That's what was going on. So I think I miscounted the energy on baby Flareon. It wasn't able to attack the Oricorio. And after it got Cyrused, the game would be over. Yeah, okay, that's what happened. That's what happened. Yeah, I know. I misread the energy. I thought Baby Flareon was going to wipe out Oricorio, but it couldn't. It didn't have enough energy, and then it was done with Cyrus. But they didn't have Cyrus. Or maybe they did, and I just missed it. Am I blind as a bat, a Zubat? I don't know, but that's another win for Squad Zero. We're gonna keep going. I mean, Squad Zero is just dominating right now. They're just kicking butt, 7-4. I really want to see the Snorlax actually be used. I mean, I feel like it's in the deck. You gotta use it, right? You gotta use it. Is it really useful or is it just a meme? You gotta prove it. You gotta prove that Snorlax has a purpose. Wait, its name is Relaxo? Its name is Relaxo? That's actually kind of funny. Relaxo. What is that? The German name for it? That's kind of neat. I love the Pokemon names in different languages. Like Lickitung or Lickalicky. One of them is Schlurp. Great name. Such a good name. Schlurp. Ooh. Oh, the Dawn Tech! The Dawn Tech! No way! Squad Zero's just popping off today. Look at that. Oh, that's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt. With that Froakie gone, Giratina is nowhere near ready to attack. And Deck Labs just doesn't have much else. This is the Froakie Eevee Giratina deck, but they don't have the Sylveon yet. They didn't start with Eevee. Froakie died too quick. This isn't looking good for Smogon. This is not looking good for Smogon. I gotta say, that Oricorio is really causing some havoc. One of the reasons I think that the Greninja Giratina deck has done so well is because Oricorios have been a lot less common, and also you can kind of deal with the Oricorio if you have an eventual Greninja. But in early Oricorio Dawn Pass Magneton, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. That's like that's the legendary turn 1 combo. That's insane. I've never seen that. I thought Dawn was just there for the Snorlax memes. Ah, yeah, they're Marsing. Because they already have a prize point. Because they already have a prize point. Oh my goodness, that was a move. That was a move. That was the Wombo combo for the ages. Like, just high five for that Wombo combo. That was crazy. Oh my goodness. Relaxo is back. I kind of want to see them use Snorlax before this ends. Probably can't, but it would be cool. Yeah, I mean, you totally drop Mag on the deck, on the bench now, right? Just put a little magnet on the bench. Don't sit on it with iron filings or nails in your pocket. That sounds painful. Yeah, on second thought, don't put magnets on benches. And then again, I don't imagine people tend to walk around with iron nails in their pocket either. Though they're fighting nails! Right, that's why I was thinking of nails, because they're fighting nails. I'm like, why am I imagining this bizarre scenario with iron nails? Oh yeah, because they're fighting nails. The player's name is Nails. Derp. Magnets and nails! That's why they're winning! That's why they're winning! Because magnets are super effective against nails! It makes perfect sense. Yup, it makes sense now. That's what's happening. If your name is Nails and you're going up against magnets, you're gonna lose. Mm-hmm. That's how it works. That's how it works. Alright, they got their Sylveon. That's gonna be a ton of draw, but I'm just not sure it'll help them. Sylveon is also an EX Pokemon. Unless they get another Froakie, there's literally no way to attack Oricorio. You can try Sabrina-ing past it and hitting the back line, but even then, Giratina would go down to Magnezone at this point, especially after attacking. I think the game is over. I don't think there's anything they can do. Although the Snorlax isn't actually doing anything, it's still kind of hilarious that Squad Zero is winning this with a Snorlax deck. For the memes! It's like punching out of the card. Yeah, I mean, Oricorio can just keep swinging. There's no reason not to. You could even put the energy on Snorlax if you wanted to. It wouldn't make a difference. Shouldn't, but you could. You shouldn't, but you might. They're so far ahead, they might start memeing. I mean, you shouldn't. This is like one of the most serious contests. With prize money on the line, they're memeing! They went for the meme! Wow! I've never seen anybody flex like that before in GGB. I've never seen that. No, that was... Oh. Yeah. There's the surrender. Both teams realized that game was over. Both teams realized that game was over. Well played to Squad Zero, except for that last energy attach. That was don't disrespect the GGB like that. Oh my goodness. But seriously, this is really devastating for Smogon right now. They are not only 4 games behind, but they're on their last player, and they have no replays. That means they will no longer have any choice what deck to use. They are locked into their decks. Meanwhile, Squad Zero has counter pick option after counter pick option after counter pick option available. Not that it matters, because they're probably just going to be able to run through every deck. And that's even if Smogon can win enough games. This is it. This is it. Oh my goodness. I see people saying Snorlax is peak. Yeah, that was funny. I have to admit that was funny. Normally I'd say that was a little bit of BM, but I think both teams kind of realized that the game was over. And I think both teams were aware that it didn't really matter at that point. The game had ended. We're just waiting for the last player from Smogon. I gotta say, it's a little bit brutal. It's a little bit brutal to be in Smogon's position right now. To go down 8-4. But Squad Zero is a really good team. A really good team. And the fact that they lost Judy so quickly, that had to hurt. They lost Judy so quickly. But I think what Squad Zero has done really well today isn't necessarily their plays. Their plays have been fine. You know, I haven't been seeing like the 500 IQ stuff we see from them sometimes, but I think that's more to do with the designs of cards lately than anything else. But what it comes down to is, I think Squad Zero just built better decks. I think they came prepared for the new meta. They knew what they were going to be fighting. They did their research, and they built better decks. Solgaleo Silvally seems to be better than Zard Silvally, and even able to counter it, surprisingly. I think Squad Zero's just deck diffed them. They were better at deck building. Both teams are playing with even skill. I haven't seen one team play with more skill than the other. I think they've been even on skill. But Squad Zero built better decks. And that's what's winning them this team battle. Oh, the Snorlax. The Snorlax. They started with the Snorlax. I feel like, you know, you can't get overconfident. You can't, if they get swept, because of this Snorlax, they're not going to be happy. They're going to feel bad for the rest of the week. But I have to say, I'm not mad. I do like that they're trying something gimmicky and interesting. Even an F tier card like Snorlax. Alright, Professor Oak goes off. They get another Snorlax. Why do they have two of them? Running one is bad enough. Why are you running two? Oh. And it's against a Nihilego, too. I hate to say it, but the correct move here is to put energy on the back Snorlax. That's actually the correct move. Because the front one is going to tank several Nihilgos. Then it's going to get Ilmud. Oricorio doesn't want to fight it, and you don't have Magnemite yet. The correct answer for this deck is to put the energy onto the Snorlax. That's the right move right now. Unironically. So we're going to see if when you actually have to use the Snorlax, when you actually have to play it, if it's any good. I got double Nihilgo. One thing I've seen people do to get around this is run like Comfey Psychic with Snorlax. And then you can run Sylveon with it, you know? And it's immune to its own sleep, it's immune to poison, it's immune to Incineroar burn. But this is not really conferring a whole lot of benefits that I can tell onto the Snor. I got another Ilma. Oh my goodness, you trolls. You mad, wonderful trolls. They gotta keep powering up the back Snorlax. That's the only move. Why would you retreat here? You're not in danger of being KO'd, are you? Let me see. 30 tick, 30 damage, 30 tick, you live with 10 health. Yeah. Yeah, unless they have Giovanni or something, you're fine. And even if they do, you'd waste too much energy retreating it. So yeah, you have to let it either go down or live, but... Oh, right, and it recovers energy anyway because of its crazy passive. So yeah, it's in no danger of going down. It's fine. It's totally fine. That's hilarious. That's actually really funny. I forgot about its passive ability where it just gets free health every turn. Yeah, so if they want to, what they could do next turn is Ilma it into a Oricorio, play it again, and then retreat a Oricorio back into the Snorlax, and then spend the next 2 turns powering up their back Snorlax, Ilma a second time, and then just go crazy with a full-powered Snorlax EX. That would be funny, but by the time they're done, Guzzlord will be up and running. So I don't know if that's a good idea, but it's a funny one. And Snorlax takes another 30, and now you do have to Ilma. Oh, they got a Pokeball. That's the mag they've been waiting for. Yeah! I guess I should do the meme. Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for! I can't pull it off. I cannot pull it off. And I don't want someone making a clip of my face doing that anyway. Especially not right now. I gotta get rid of the fuzz. Alright, so what do you switch into? I think you just switch into Ori, play the Snorlax, and retreat back into it. That's what I would do. Yep. That's the move. Snorlax on the bench. Come on. Yep. Give it energy. Come on, I called this last turn. This is an obvious play. Why are you guys running Snorlax if you hadn't practiced these plays? I don't even run this thing, and I knew what to do. I don't even run this thing. But that's just because I obsess way too much over gimmick decks. It's still F tier. It's still F tier. It's completely ridiculous that they're doing this, but I love it. Then now, Smoggin has to go through the Snorlax all over again. This is pretty funny. This is legit hilarious. What do? You're Smoggin and you're like, what can we do to get rid of it? It just keeps coming back. It just keeps coming back. It doesn't die, it's immortal. Wow, they still can't get the mag. They still can't get the Magneton. Yeah, Lum Berry would be a waste here. It's not. Why would you even play it? Why would you even play it? Just put the energy on the remaining Snorlax. Yeah, put that energy on there. Just drop the energy. Put the energy on there. Sigh. I love this Psyduck. It can high five, we can head bump, it can do the bunk. It can be very excited. It has so many options. Okay, they did put the energy on the Snorlax. Now they're trying to figure out if they're going to play anything else. The answer is no, you don't play anything else. I mean, you could put the Malasala. There's no reason to use the Malasala. That's the thing. You don't need to play anything. I guess you just kind of end your turn here. Yep, called it. That's exactly what they did. You see, when people are playing gimmick decks, I automatically know the right move. I don't know why. But when it's a gimmick deck, I'm like this. I know exactly what should be done. When it's silly and ridiculous, I know the right moves. Alright, come on. What do you do against this ridiculousness? They're powering up the Guzzlord, but the funny thing is, because they haven't KO'd any Pokemon, Lusamine can't power it up. So Smoggin is just stuck. Alright, yeah, they got the Mars, and that's fair. That's fair. We'll get to see if maybe they get... Ooh, the frame rate just dropped a little bit there. No! Oh, the internet! No, I want to see Snorlax in all its beautiful glory. The frame rate! The frame rate! Hold on, I'm trying to fix the frame rate. I can't. It's their internet. There's nothing I can do. Alright, we're gonna play with blue version pixels for a second. The Snorlax has stalled so long, the internet got tired of waiting. It's pretty much what happened. Wait, why would you Malasala? Oh no, they got Mars out of Ilma! Snorlax is trapped! Oh no! Snorlax is trapped! It can't escape! Well, I was fussing with the pixels. I didn't notice. Yeah, the connection's back. It looks nice again. I didn't notice. There's no way out. There's no way out. But why even use the Malasala there? It didn't matter. You weren't going down to poison, and you're going to get knocked out next turn anyway. It was just play down? I don't know. I don't know. But one thing is clear. Smoggin Deck Labs was having none of this Snorlax trolling. They were like, okay, you wanna stall us with Snorlax? That's fine. We'll wait right until the last minute, right until you're about to execute your perfect plan, then we're gonna ruin it. Props to Smoggin. Props to Smoggin. I feel like the Snorlax was bordering on BM just a little bit, and Smoggin was like, okay, we'll take it. We will gladly take this free win you're gifting us. Thank you. And don't get me wrong, I think people should try gimmick strategies. They're fun, they're interesting. It's good to try them, but this did not work so well. All right, we finally get to see the mighty Relaxo in action. Let's see if the mighty Relaxo can actually do any damage here. All right, we got some good cards. Got some good cards. Magnet powers up. Yeah, they're deciding which basic to put on the bench. I'm honestly not sure myself. I'm honestly not sure. I mean, on the one hand, a Ricorio could let you survive a Cyrus, you know, so that you always, or sorry, not Cyrus, a Sabrina, so you always have an Ricorio to use for when the Snorlax eventually comes off. But Mag is better damage. But you're probably not going to be able to play it, so I don't know. I don't know. There it is! Boom! 130 damage from Snorlax EX. And Snorlax is both sleeping and poisoned as a result, taking massive poison damage, staying asleep. That's gotta hurt. And it seems like the poison triggers after healing. So as a result, Snorlax does not heal up 20 of that. Oh. And it doesn't even wake up. It stays asleep as it dies of poisoning and being eaten by Guzzlord. Truly, truly, the Ultra Beast of Devouring is even more voracious than Snorlax EX. Well played to Smog and Deck Labs. They are slowly climbing back in this game. As a general reminder, why you should not be playing Snorlax EX! Literally, it's the thumbnail of my tier list video is a picture of that card and the word F tier in red. I could not have made my warning any more clear. I told you guys. I told the world. Don't play that. But all right. That's enough ranting for me. Let me update the game. Game 13 goes to, actually I didn't get the player name. Hold on, who is the player for Smog and Deck Labs? Their final player, Hyperbole Rang. No, wait, that's their rating. Hold on. Who is the player? I gotta wait a sec to update the player name because I didn't see their player name yet. All right, I'm memeing on Squad Zero a little, but they didn't do anything wrong. I'm just kind of playing it up for funsies. But yeah, you know, trying new stuff is fine. Trying new stuff is fine. I don't think Snorlax is a good card. I'm not convinced it's a good card. If it is a good card, we haven't figured out how to make it good yet. Maybe someone will figure it out. But 4 energy is too much. It's too much. You're not going to play that. It's not happening. 4 energy? Not until we get, like, way more energy engines into the game. 4 is just too high. Alright, it's Kamikaze. Wait a minute. Kamikaze of Smogon. Smogon. There we go. There we go. Kamikaze. Godwind. Ooh! I know this deck. We've seen it before. It hasn't worked so well. It hasn't worked so well, say, for Smogon. But to be fair, I think that's because Squad Zero is very familiar with it. I think they were ready to counter this thing. Let's see if Smogon is ready to counter this thing. They didn't get any Eevees, though, which is weird. Not a single Eevee. Or Oak. And Guzzlord is on the field. This is like a double brick. It's like I'm watching both players brick at the same time. This is wild. It's going to be an interesting game. And it's a reminder that, you know, Smogon is still in this. Smogon is still in this. Kamikaze can go all the way and knock out every remaining member of Squad Zero. It could happen. Squad Zero really needs to get their stuff together and put an end to this before it becomes a snowball. That's the first energy on Guzzlord. And you know, Guzzlord plays very well into Giratina for a number of reasons. It can one-shot Giratina if Giratina has any damage on it. And it can remove energy, which is devastating to Giratina. There's the little Eevee. Now there's a bit of a choice. And if you watched my video on this topic, where I interviewed level 80 Mewtwo, we talked about this. You have a choice between attacking with Eevee and powering up Giratina. I think the right thing to do is double water energy on each Froakie and power Giratina. But we'll see. Putting the water energy on Giratina is also not a bad move. Just get it up and running. But yeah, I think that was a good move. I think that was a good move. Because that way, either one could turn into a Greninja and attack no matter what energy you draw going forward. I think that was good. Alright, Squad Zero seems to be very, very excited to try to end this. They're very confident. We'll see how long that confidence lasts, though. I mean, Kamikaze already has one win. And I have to say, this Guzzlord is looking pretty scary. It's going to use Grindcore, which not only two-shots Froakie, but it has the potential to delete Froakie's energy, preventing it from retreating. Didn't work, though. Froakie's in the clear, for now. For now. Oh, another Eevee. No Oak, no Sylveon, no good. That's tough. Yeah, Giratina needs Cape to be able to duel Guzzlord. Is Froakie retreating? Froakie's running away. What do you use? What do you use here? I didn't get that much sleep last night. We're gonna take a nap after this, because then I gotta cast the PLL. Oh my goodness. That one won't be on my YouTube or my Twitch. That'll be on the Pokemon Pocket League Twitch. Yeah, you could look up Pokemon Pocket League. I keep telling them to make their name easier to search for on Twitch, but yeah, whatever. They'll post the link to it probably in the Discord. It'll be me and Trav casting that. So yeah, look forward to that if you want more Pokemon Pocket content. That's right, I cast all the tournaments. Let's go. Is there one I haven't cast yet? Let me see. I was on the Earthsea Day once. I do the PLL a lot. I do Global Gym Battles. Frog-X. I don't speak French, so I have not cast Frog-X yet. Clearly, I need to learn French. Yeah, I'm wondering what they're thinking about, because they're spending a lot of time on their turns. I guess they're just kind of thinking, like, if they want to play around the Giratina, like they're doing calcs. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So they're bringing out the Celesteela so that if Giratina comes online now, and it KOs Celesteela, Guzzlord can then KO the Giratina in response. That's not helpful. That's not helpful. That's not what you want. Squad Zero is bricking on Oaks and Silvally. They effectively have 6 Oaks in their deck, and they've managed not to draw a single one. Not one! They even have Silvally as a background, but it's not happening. Yeah, they're in a tough spot right now. What do? Guzzlord is about to swing. Do you give it a sacrifice? I don't know. Honestly don't. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Honestly don't know how you play this. It's a tough position for Squad Zero. Smoggen's doing very well. We could be witnessing a Smoggen comeback right now. This could be a Smoggen comeback. I mean, they win this game, they're only 2 behind. Kamikaze could go all the way. Kamikaze could go all the way. They win this game, there's only 2 players left. Kamikaze just has to take out 2 more players. It's pretty good. Alright, Froakie retreats into Eevee, goes for a draw. The draw is not useful at all, but hopefully that draw down will help them get what they need. However, by sacrificing Eevee, personally I would have sacrificed the Froakie there. By sacrificing Eevee, Sylveon becomes a dead card for another turn. And then they'd have to sacrifice the Froakie anyway. So, I don't know. I don't know how you win this if you're Squad Zero. I don't even know if there is a win con left. But if they're still playing, they're looking for one. Trying to find one. I need like a detective magnifying glass. That would be cool. I like playing with things. You might have noticed that. I don't know if you noticed that, but I like playing with things. Yes, this is a full puppet, by the way. I could control this Psyduck vaguely. The second I saw that, I was like, I've got to get this. I've got to get this. It's so soft and huggable too. It's like the softest plush Psyduck ever, and it's a puppet. I love it. It's the best. All right, they finally got the Greninja. But which one do you use? Probably the back line. I mean, it's not attacking this turn. Alright, they really want poke on the Guzzlord, I feel like. You gotta take that Guzzlord out. Poke it this turn, poke it next turn, and then by your powers combined, you can take it out with Giratina. That's the idea. And kind of make it impossible for Guzzlord to attack. Should probably play Eevee on the bench there. They're thinking about it. They're thinking about not doing it. And there's the Eevee. Yeah, there's really no reason not to. I mean, Sab loses you the game no matter what. Oh, this is interesting. They're considering caping the Gren? Why wouldn't you cape the Giratina? Huh? Huh? Anyone else confused by that? I would have put cape on the Giratina. But it seems like they want an extra tank. Alright, with that Nurse Joy on Guzzlord, there's no taking it out with Giratina this turn. It cannot be defeated by Giratina this turn. So, they're gonna have to send in Greninja. But I guess that was the idea, right? I guess that was their plan. They were like, okay, if they're able to heal it, which they probably can, right? We need to stall for one more turn so we can poke it down one more time. Now they draw that. Not so helpful at the moment. Because of the Poison Barb, Greninja just can't attack here. And it absolutely has to damage the Guzzlord. Under normal circumstances, it could snipe the Nihilego, but they're just too far behind. You know, they can't lose a single prize point. I don't even know where you put the energy here. On Greninja, I guess, but it could disappear. On Eevee, you could put it on Eevee. That could be relevant if you need Sylveon to attack. Or you could put it on Jira if you plan on retreating Jira. But I feel like if things work well, you don't retreat the Jira, right? Maybe? Maybe? So we'll see, we'll see. I mean, they're considering this very, very carefully. This is probably the most slow and methodical match we've seen yet. Yeah, because you can't attack. You'd go down if you attack. I feel like Squad Zero is like feeling a little embarrassed, you know. Not quite embarrassed, but a little sobered, let's say, from that Snorlax match. And they're like, oh, we could actually lose this. We gotta be careful. We gotta be careful, right? They're catching up. They're catching up. We gotta, you know, so they're taking their time. Just making sure they're making all the right moves. It's 8-5, but Smogon could still come back. First to 10 wins, but Smogon could still come back. And it's kind of looking like this game's favoring Smogon, right? Squad Zero doesn't look like they're winning this. They could, but I don't think they will. Ooh. Questionable decision. I think it would have been better if they had attacked with Nihilego there. As a result, Squad Zero can do exactly what they wanted. Exactly what they wanted, as long as they remember to poke with Greninja before attacking. Yep, there it is. And finish off Guzzlord. That's going to be 2 prize points. The only way Smogon wins is with either Sabrina or Cyrus. They gotta have Sabrina or Cyrus to take it. 2 prize points apiece. It all comes down to this. Why even think? Just send that Nihilego right in. Do you have it or not? Yeah, they're getting ready to surrender if they see the Cyrus or Sav played, because they know. Yeah, the good Cyrus, the one with the hand. That's GG. That's game. That's game. And Smogon is making a comeback. If you thought this was over, you would be wrong. Smogon is making a comeback. They were not happy about having Judy get swept. Nobody sweeps Judy. That's insane. Nah. 8-6. Kamikaze is on a double win streak. A double win streak. It's not looking too great. It's not looking too great. Dark has been eliminated. And Squad Zero's got to pick another member. But let's check the chat. I have to use 10 minutes due to rules. Just answering some questions on Twitch real quick. And just checking the... Saying hi to Marco on YouTube. Yeah, the delay and me having to hyper-focus on the games makes it a little bit tough sometimes to answer the chat, but I try to whenever I can. Alright, so Squad Zero's got to pick another member. They only have 2 players left. They only have 2 players left who are able to participate. Smogon's coming back. Kamikaze was the last member. Anyone else would have given up in their position, but they were like, wait. Squad Zero's playing a silly Snorlax deck. I'm going to take my time and pick it apart. Mars red card them at the perfect moment, removing their Ilma. Beautiful. Beautiful. And then game 2, they just kind of overpower them. I think Guzzlord Nihilego was a good answer to their deck. It's funny that Greninja Giratina deck went 15-0 in a tournament. I was lauding it as like a 100% win rate deck, but it's not doing so well right now. It's just not doing so well right now. Either those 2 Frogex members who fought with that thing in the finals were really lucky, or maybe the meta's past it. I don't know what happened. Because that deck was gold. That deck was crazy. But it's just not doing so well right now. I think the players are bricking a little bit too. Like, we haven't been seeing the Silvalies. We just haven't been seeing the Silvalies activate. We haven't been seeing the EV starts so much, you know, because you go EV, you go collect. We've been seeing most people like tech Giratina. But maybe teching Giratina is the wrong answer. Maybe you really want Gren first. I don't know. Like, maybe you want to get your draws online first. I'm not sure. It's part of the skill of the deck, I guess, is making that calculation. All right, let me see if Squad Zero has picked the member of their team. Yep, they have. And it's... Wait, who is this? Who is this? Hold on. Who is this? Their screen name said me trash, but I think that's a self-deprecating joke. Who is this? Mewtwo! Let's go! It's level 80 Mewtwo! Oh, alright! We are spectating the legend level 80 Mewtwo. I'm excited. I am slightly biased. I have to admit, full transparency, level 80 Mewtwo was one of your OG members of my Discord, so I'm a little bit biased here. But heck yeah, level 80 Mewtwo, let's go! So level 80 Mewtwo is fighting down Kamikaze. They're both running Celesteela style decks. It's grass versus dark. Who will win? This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. Level 80 Mewtwo, let's go! Alright, Mewtwo got a really good start. They got the Buzzhole, the Celesteela, and the Kartana, and they're going second, so they get first energy, which is really, really important in this deck. I've got to say, Buzzhole, there's some decks that are okay with going first, but Buzzhole does a lot better when you go second. When you go second, you can just spam energy into Buzzhole and race down whatever your opponent has. It's so good. It's so scary. But no Oaks, no Pokeballs. They have, Cyrus, Mars. Can't really use those yet. Maybe they could use Mars if they don't play anything else from the hand. Nope, but they are playing from the hand, so Mars isn't. Yeah, these are late game magical cards, right? These are late game supporter cards. They're supporter cards. I call them magic cards because you play them like a spell, right? They're basically spells. All right, yeah, early decision. Early decision. Where do you put the energy, right? I would just put it on Buzzhole. I would just put it straight on Buzzhole. Like, just from experience, when you go second, energy goes straight to Buzzhole. Just power it up and start sweeping. But level 80 Mewtwo went for Kartana instead. Gonna try to get some early chip damage onto Celesteela. The reason I don't like that play, though, is because you have to 3-shot the Celesteela with Kartana to take it out. But if Buzzhole ends up attacking it, it doesn't even matter. It's just Cape secure, right? It's just, making sure Cape won't save it. But Buzzlord will just take it out. So I don't like that. I feel like it's giving the opponent a lot of time to catch up. And if they get double Nihilego, they can one-shot Kartana with the double Nihilego, which is really scary. So yeah, I would have put the energy on Buzzhole there. I'm a little bit worried about this Kartana strategy. Little bit worried. Another problem is that if Kartana goes down, you don't really want to Lusamine the Celesteela because it's very inconsistent. Yes, it can snap Nihilegos in one shot, but it can also miss and do nothing. Very risky, and you really want good, consistent plays at this stage. You don't want to rely on Celesteela if you don't have to. There's an Oak. That's going to be really essential. Draw some cards. Get something good. Get a second Kartana if you can. Because at this point, you're kind of committed. They're thinking about potentially Marsing. Their opponent did have 6 cards in hand. Ultimately decided not to go for it. Playing the Oak instead. Get a good Pokeball. Second Buzzhole, which would have been good if you were putting energy on the first one from the beginning. Yeah, I'm sorry. I played a lot of games with this recently, so I'm just like, this is the move. This is the move, Because I probably played like 50 games with this thing just recently in ranked. Don't play this in ranked. It's not good anymore. I've learned that the hard way. Its time is done. There are Flareons, Incineroars. This thing even loses to Sweet Spam, the good Sweet Spam decks. Like the Ultra Ball Sweet Spam decks, not like the Great Ball. They don't know what they're doing. They have the full Vanillite line Sweet Spam deck. Some of the Vanillite line is fine. The full line, that's too far. Too far. Alright, so Kartana's still chipping away, chipping away, chipping away. We see Mars. Unfortunate. Had energy been on Buzzhole, the second Buzzhole could have been played. It's alright, though. They got the Pokeball, they got Lusamine, they got Mars. They still got everything they need. Still got everything they need, but with double Nihilego, Kartana's done. And this is what I was talking about before. This is what I was afraid of, right? And again, because I know this matchup so well, I could predict 2 turns in advance. Nihilego one-shots Kartana. Just like I said. There's the poison. It ticks for 30. Kartana's done. Now what? Had the initial energy been on Buzzhole, that damage would have gone on to Celesteela. Buzzhole could come in, sweep Nihilego, and you'd have a second Buzzhole ready to go. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You can't use it because it's gonna take Poison Barb, and it'll go down before it can get the remaining hit on Celesteela. That's the reason you don't go after Celesteela. It's a trap. It never works. I'm sorry, I've done it so many times. I've done it so many times. There's only really one play here, and it's not a good one. You go for Buzzhole, you Lusamine Buzzhole, you take out Nihilego, but suffer 20 poison damage, and hope that they don't get Lusamine. Just hope that Lusamine doesn't happen. That's it. That's the only thing you can do. Kamikaze might be taking another win. Big Beat goes off. Nihilego goes down. The score is technically tied at 1 prize point apiece. But it's a little hairy. It's definitely a little hairy here. The fact that they're thinking means... Oh, no. No, they got the Goose. They got the Goose. Is this Lusamine? It's gotta be Lusamine. If you don't have Lusamine, you'd have to be crazy to go into Guzzlord now. Yeah, there's the Lusamine. We're looking at Grindcore. This isn't good. This is not a good situation. This is not an ideal situation for our beloved hero Mewtwo here. I gotta say, Smogon is playing well. Smogon is playing well. There's another Goose in the back. I'm convinced that Guzzlord is actually an evolved Guzma. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Guzzlord is clearly an evolved Guzma. It's gotta be true. I actually have not played, like, Super Sun or Omega Sun or whatever it is, so if that's actually true, that's pretty funny. Yeah, you go into Formosa here, clear the poison, hope they don't have Cyrus now, and you can sacrifice Formosa and just try to get 40 damage onto Guz. Solid 40 damage. Marsing here is an interesting idea. I'm not sure if you do it or not, really. I'm not sure. You definitely don't want them to be able to heal the Goose. That would be pretty bad. And then you just poke it and you poke Celesteela. That way Celesteela will go down if they try to tank with it. That's sort of the idea. Though I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure. Is there a better target? Maybe you poke the other Guzma. The Guzzlord. Yeah, because then you can do it a second time and make sure Buzzlord is in range of both. I don't know. I don't know. Alright, so Cyrus wins the game for Kamikaze. Do they have Cyrus? And this is going to be an every turn thing. First player to draw Cyrus wins. We are there. We are there. First player to draw Cyrus wins. I'm guessing they don't have it because they haven't played it yet. And I know that Mewtwo's deck does run 2 Cyruses. We've seen it. And I also have run that deck. Okay, it looks like stall tech. Yep. Just stalling. Just waiting for that Cyrus. If they had hit Celesteela, which is what I said originally, if they had hit Celesteela, they could take it down this turn, and then win with Buzzhole next turn. But, yeah, I mean, I probably should have targeted Celesteela last turn. Now it's a little bit late, because Formosa's probably going to go down to poison before you can do it. But going after the Guzzlord wasn't a bad idea. You know, that could have been the right move, depending on the situation. Yeah, I mean, it's draw Cyrus to win. That's the current situation. It's draw Cyrus to win. You don't even want to attack here, I don't think. Because if you attack here, you're just dropping a poke for no reason. I think you just tank with Celesteela. Because Cyrus loses anyway, right? So just tank with Celesteela. Oh, they're deliberately retreating. But why not just put the energy on Celesteela? Why would you retreat, dump the energy just to Lusamine it back? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. What's going on here? What's going on here? Uh, I don't know. Squad Zero seems to be flagging. They're running out of time. They're running out of time. They only have 10 seconds left. 10 seconds. They just end their turn? Wait. Wait. That doesn't work. Were they trying to self-KO Formosa? To Lusamine the energies onto Celesteela next turn? But that doesn't work. I don't get it. I don't understand what they were going for. That seems like an error to me. I feel like the energy should have gone on to Celesteela. Then you could put another one on it this turn. And then if you retreat with Formosa, you could Lusamine on the third energy. Celesteela attacks. You have a 50% chance of winning the game right now. Well, assuming they don't draw Cyrus next turn. You would at least get one prize point, and then they'd have to tank with something else. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Unless there's another leaf in the discard that I haven't accounted for yet. I feel like this was a mistake. Yeah, they don't have enough leaf in the discard to Lusamine it. Huh. Squad Zero does have 2 Cyrus, so they have the best chance of drawing the Cyrus. This is just going to come down to a Cyrus drawing contest. I mean, I feel like Squad Zero could have made a play there. When it goes down to like 10 seconds like that, that means the team is debating. That means too many people are talking, too many people are disagreeing, and they don't know what to do. Yeah, I think there was just too much talking going on. There was some kind of indecision going on. Ooh. Uh-oh. That heal is big, but the Rocky Helmet stopped it. So let me explain this. That heal brought the tanky Energy Guzzlord to 160. But if it had gone in and attacked Celesteela going for the win, it would have lost because of the Rocky Helmet. But that doesn't matter because since they healed it anyway, right, now you can't take it out with Cyrus. So the Rocky Helmet stopped the Guzzlord from winning this turn. But they still can't bring in the Buzzlord to attack because it's too tanky. So there's a standoff now. But Squad Zero is losing the standoff because the second Rocky Helmet disappears, which it will have to because of the Nihilego. Why are you Ultra Thrustering? No, just go for Moonbaton. What are you doing? Wait, what? Why wouldn't you just Moonbaton here? Why wouldn't you just Moonbaton here, right? Oh, they're energy ditching to Lusamine double energy. Oh, big brain. It didn't attack. They ran out of time. No! Oh, that's game. That's game. They just lost. Yo, that... No! That was a brilliant move, but it came a little bit too late. I mean, they could have done that like 2 turns ago. And then they didn't attack. I think Squad Zero's just having some communication problems. They got too confident. Now they're falling apart. I don't know what's happening. But I think they lost. Because Celesteela still exists, there's no way to snipe the backline. And because they used Lusamine, they can't use it on the new Buzzhole. Had they saved Lusamine, they could have used it on the new Buzzhole. If they used it in actually Moonbaton, they could have wiped out Nihilego. But they didn't do any of that. This was a throw. This was a throw on multiple levels. Yeah, no, from what I can tell, there were just some problems with the Squad Zero communication. I think a bunch of people were shouting advice at the same time, and things broke down. Wow. Kamikaze takes another game. They're coming back. They're coming back. Squad Zero shouldn't have lost that game. Squad Zero should not have lost that game. They should have won. They really, really should have won. Like, they were going second. They had the setup. They had the cards. There were multiple mistakes made. I am not the best Buzzhole player, but I've played a lot of Buzzhole lately. I can think of at least 3 to 4 mistakes that were made that game. Nah, you know I like to talk up Squad Zero. You guys know I love to say Squad Zero's the best. Like no one ever was. But I gotta call them out when they mess up. They messed up. That wasn't a good game. Nah, they threw hard. They gotta bring it back. They really gotta bring it back right now. I mean, they had a massive lead, and Kamikaze's one game away from catching them. All right, it looks like Squad Zero used their replay, so they're going to use the same deck again, but they're going first this time. You can't replay your position. Going first is going to make this a lot harder. I don't know about this. I don't know about this. Going first is going to make this a lot harder. This matchup is winnable by the dark side. The dark side. And Nihilego Guzzlord. The dark side is strong, but the bugs from another dimension can prevail. Alright, so they got a double Nihilego setup and double Celesteela. Honestly, throw everything onto the bench and just power up your gosh darn Buzzlords. That's it. You're going first, so it's a little slower. Let the Celesteela's tank. Hope they don't get Cyrus. Yeah, I mean, if they had Kartana, maybe it would have been nice, but honestly, I think Kartana's a trap. I think Kartana's a trap. There's so many times you get Kartana, you play Kartana, and then realize you're too slow on Buzzhole because you played Kartana. I would just put everything onto the field. Just dump it onto the field. But we'll see what they do. We'll see what they do. One thing is clear. Squad Zero has taken a mental hit from last game. I think their morale is lowered. They were winning. They were on top of the world. Maybe they memed a little bit too much with the Snorlax. And then they started losing. You know, the first game, okay, they lost because they had to play Snorlax. The gimmick didn't work. That's okay. The next game, oh, we were playing a good deck, but I guess we got countered, bricked a little bit. But then they threw one away. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Alright, they got Formosa. Again, a trap. I don't think that's right. But they seem to want it. Alright, I'm not going to question their strategy. I'm not the best. I'm not the best Buzzhole player. Maybe Formosa's the right answer. I'm not convinced of that, but maybe Formosa's the answer. This is interesting because I would play this so differently. It's rare I disagree with Squad Zero this much. But I want to see the big bug go like Buzzhole Smash. You know, that's how I would play this. Formosa Tickle versus Buzzhole Smash. There's a big difference between Tickle and Smash. Smash is better. I don't know. I personally would go for Smash in this situation, not Tickle. You got the muscle bug. It's got like 50 times the muscles. Formosa's good when you need to snipe a backline Giratina or something, but against Pokemon that Buzzhole can one-shot, I don't know. I have some questions about this. We'll see if Squad Zero strategy pans out. We'll see if it pans out. We'll see if this works. I mean, this is very close. This is very close. I feel like this is the revenge of Judy, right? They swept Judy, and now Judy's on the Smoggin comms, like, all right, we're gonna beat these. We're gonna beat these Squad Zero. Here's what we do. Here's what we do. Now, I'm joking, but honestly, that's not even what's happening. Squad Zero's throwing. That's what's happening. Last game shouldn't have happened. Last game should have been 9-6. Instead, it's 8-7. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right, Nihilgo's got mad damage, but there's only one of it on the field, so Formosa will survive this. I think it can even survive the back tick. Attack, tick is 70. No, it can't. It can't. It would die on the back tick if it tries to attack, so Formosa can't attack again. Making it effectively useless, which is, again, why I thought they should just put the gosh darn energy on Buzzhole. For real, I don't know why they're not doing that. It's driving me crazy. Put the energy on the Buzzhole. Just put it. Oh, Psyduck. This is hard to watch, Psyduck. Oh, Psyduck understands me. I'm rooting for Squad Zero. I mean, I cover them just about every week, you know? Level 80 Mewtwo's my bud, but this isn't looking good. You see, now they've started putting the energy on Buzzhole, but because there's that awkward one energy on the Formosa, and they don't want Formosa to go down, that energy is just locked. Effectively, what they're going to have to do if they draw a Lusamine is retreat it, and then Lusamine the one energy onto the Buzzhole, but then you've basically wasted a Lusamine. There was no reason to damage the Celesteela in the back. There's no reason to damage the Nihilgo. You didn't need to do any of that. It's cape thwarting, I guess, but I don't think it makes sense. We could see maybe Buzzhole use that to do like a kind of bypass, right? Potentially on the poison barb. But I don't know. All right, do we get Lusamine? Unhelpful. Yeah, no. The late Kartana. With the draws they had, they should have committed from the start to 2 Celesteelas, 2 Buzzholes, stacked energy onto Buzzholes, and tried to sweep with double Buzzhole. Don't let Celesteela go down. That's the play. It's not a great play. It's not a clever strategic play. It's not the kind of play that Squad Zero likes to do. But I think it would have been the right play. And they just... It's not on their radar. It's not even on their radar. They're like, yeah, we gotta go for the Formosa. Yeah, we gotta go for the Kartana. You shouldn't do either of those things. Those cards are just deck filler fluff for if you brick. They used to be good, but they're not good against this deck. That's the thing. They do very, very little against Celesteela Nihilego. Alright, Celesteela is staying in there. It's trying to tank, you know, do its job as a tank. But if a second Nihilego gets played, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. It can still survive. It can still survive. I don't think they're going to play a second Nihilego, though. I think they're going to try for Guzzlord. The Lord of the Guzz. Because Guzzlord is like the thing that threatens Buzzhole, right? When Buzzhole starts sweeping, you want to bring out the Guzzlord. What Squad Zero is hoping for right now is that they brick entirely on the Guzzlord. Celesteela survives. Then you back switch Celesteela into Buzzlord. Cyrus the back Celesteela. Knock that out. And then you're playing a game against Nihilego and Celesteela instead of a game against a Guzz. And that's doable. Yeah. Very, very simple. They got the setup. They got it. Use it. Ultra Thruster. Buzzhole. Energy. Cyrus. Let's see this. Go. Come on. You got this. Do they know? They've gotta know. It's such an obvious strategy. They gotta know. Right? Okay, good. Oh, had me scared for a second there. Had me scared. There it is. Yeah, okay. The Cyrus, right? Good. All right. The Squad Zero is getting back together. They're getting their stuff back together. This is more like it. This is more like the Squad Zero we know. Big beat goes off. Boom. Celesteela down. Okay. Now, even though Buzzhole is technically locked, it could still use Celesteela plus Formosa retreating to effectively get back its attack. So we're going to either see Nihilego or Celesteela come in. Probably Nihilego. Yeah, because that's guaranteed damage. You want guaranteed damage so that if you get a Guzzlord now, you can fill it up with Lusamine. Did they get Guzzlord? Did they get it? They got Oak. Now did they get it? This is critical. They need Guzzlord to win. Okay. Now did they get it? Did you get it? I want to play the dang card. Come on. They got it. Yeah. Okay. So, Kamikaze is still in this. They can still win. Big poison damage. Unhelpful draws. You just power up the second Buzzhole. I mean, it's very, very clear. There's no question. You just power up that second Buzzhole. Just put the energy on to the Buzzhole. What are they doing? From all the clicking, I get the feeling that there's like too much discussion happening. That like there's some kind of confusion occurring. This is the right move, but I don't know. I feel like Squad Zero's talking too much. Like the one strength of Global Gym Battles is you have the whole team in comms talking. But the one weakness is that when your whole team is talking at the same time and disagreeing, it's really hard for the pilot to pick a move. Now, I can't hear them. There's actually nothing in these, so why am I wearing them? Hold on a second. Why am I even wearing those? I'm not listening to anything. Anyway, I can't hear what they're saying, but just from the chat and from just generally how I see them kind of going back and forth between decisions, I get the feeling that that's what's going on. Alright, Guzzlord is online. But all of the damaged Pokemon... I sound so different now that I don't have earbuds in. I've been screaming this whole time. Ooh. That's big. Yeah. That's big. Now Cyrus wins them the game. Kamikaze wins on Cyrus yet again. I think that I don't know if it would have made a difference this time, to be fair, but I do get the feeling that Squad Zero is just a little too hyper-focused on playing the Kartana, playing the Formosa, in situations when you don't need to, and you kind of don't even want to. Yeah, I mean, It's Sab. That's it. Sab, win or lose. That's it. Do they have Sab? Putting extra energy on the Buzzhole is smart because of Grindcore. One possible win con for Kamikaze is just to Grindcore away all of Buzzhole's energy. I don't know if they have a second Lusamine somewhere in the deck, but it's not in their hand if they do. And they might have played it already. Ooh, that hurts. The Cyrus. It's tied up. It's all tied up. And Squad Zero can't really be mad. They could have been... They could have won from this point, but mistakes were made. I don't think they're completely comfortable on the Buzzhole deck. And I think that that's costing them a little bit. You know, running a deck where the team might not know the best moves, that's hard. That's hard. All right, so right now it's 8-8. It's anybody's game. Kamikaze has gone crazy and just went on a massive win streak. What was that, game 16? Yeah, that was game 16. Kamikaze has tied Goons. 4-win streak for Smoggin. 4-win streak for Smoggin. I think what it comes down to is this. Can Squad Zero pull it together and take out this crazy deck? Also, this deck is pretty good. It's not really using any new cards either. Ooh, maybe I should play that in ranked. It doesn't use any Sylveons. Seems pretty strong. Maybe I should play it. Alright, well, Squad Zero only has one member left to choose from. And this is it. We're going to check chat real quick, just see what folks are saying. Oh, I have a frickin' troll. Again, possible ban evader? Yes, this is a ban evader. I will ban them again. Ban, where's the report button? Manage suspicious user. How do I report this person? Here we go. Report, spam, next, spam, next, spam, report. Okay, good. Crazy spam bot removed from Twitch. Okay, so, this is it. The final countdown. The final game. It's 8-8. Squad Zero has to take the next 2 matches. Or Smoggin has to take the next 2 matches. This is it, right? You win or lose here. I don't know what happened, right? I don't know what happened. I just know some kind of communication broke down occurred during those games. But I will say that it didn't seem like the team was completely comfortable on that deck. It didn't seem like they were necessarily playing optimally, especially game 1. Game 1, you're going second, you've got double Buzzhole Celesteela. You should just play it without hesitation. There was no reason for Kartana ever to be given a single energy. There's no reason for Kartana even to be played, I think. Kartana should never even been on the field in that game. So I think that maybe that was a practice issue, right? I mean, you know, the team looked really good on Solgaleo, and they had multiple of that deck, and I've only seen 1 Buzzhole from them. So maybe they weren't comfortable on the Buzzhole, potentially. But there are no replays left. Both teams have used both replays. It's 8-8. This has been a very insanely close series of matches, with Squad Zero pulling way ahead on their brilliant deck building, but then starting to fall behind when their teamwork started to break down a little bit. So I think that Smoggin has had consistent teamwork and consistent deck building. Maybe not as good deck building as Squad Zero, but their teamwork has been a little better. And those two things matter a lot, you know? So it all comes down to this. It all comes down to this. Which team can pull it together and take the win? Let's find out. Yes, perfect timing. The next stream started right as I said that. Ha ha ha. All right. So we're seeing another mirror. Celesteela versus Celesteela. Kamikaze has gone first. And we are seeing Squad Zero go second. But they are bricked. And this is a mirror match, from what I can tell. From those poison barbs, oh. This is a mirror match. You don't want to be in this position in a mirror match. It's not so good. They could play Mars, knock 2 cards off their opponent, but they might end up giving them more basics. I mean, they haven't played Nihilego yet. You don't want to give them first Nihilego. That would be really bad. I mean, going second doesn't even matter if you have to waste the energy, right? Oh, this hurts. This really hurts, Squad Zero. This is not where you want to brick in the climactic concluding 2 matches. They can afford to lose 1. They can afford to lose 1, but they cannot lose 2. They cannot lose 2. Professor Oak comes down from Kamikaze. Maybe they're wishing they had Mars, but honestly, I think not Marsing was the right choice. You don't know what they have. They've already gone once, so that Oak had to have been top decked. They got the Nihilego anyway, unfortunately, for Squad Zero. Yeah, Smogin's playing well. And there was just no stopping the Nihilego. There was nothing they could have done. Mars would have given them a higher chance of getting it. So I don't think they made any mistakes. It's just Smogin drew better in the mirror match. Smogin has got the double Oak in the mirror match. They got the first Nihilego. They're powering up the Guzzlord, which... What? Why are they powering up the Guzzlord? Shouldn't they put the energy on Nihilego? Let me think about this. Yeah, because of the Lusamine timings. Generally, you put the energy on Nihilego, don't you? But it doesn't matter. Squad Zero is completely bricked anyway. Oh, maybe they don't have Lusamine? Maybe they don't have Lusamine, or they're worried about Lusamine? Because Celesteela could technically thwack Nihilego if you get lucky, especially because they're basically forced to power it up. But I don't know. I don't know. This is a tough spot to be in. This is definitely a tough spot for Squad Zero. I don't know how they're going to get out of this. I don't know how our heroes will survive. But tune in next week. No, I mean, this is going to be covered in the next, I don't know, 30 minutes or something. This is ending one way or another. But both teams are at 8. One of them's going to 10. And that's just the way it works. One team will win. One team will lose. But Squad Zero is insanely bricked. I mean, double Celesteela is not great. They do decide to play the Mars. Not much risk at this point, you know. Just lower their hand count. And end your turn, I guess. There's nothing else they can do. They Ultra Thruster to the one without poison? Interesting. Interesting. I guess it's to avoid Grindcore, right? But then you... Why not put the other poison barb on the one in front? I have a big head and little arms, and I don't think this was thought through very well. Someone got that reference. Hopefully. Hopefully. Or you all just think I'm insane, which is also acceptable. There was a movie where that was a line. Anyway. It's like a running theme that this guy, who happens to be wearing a hat all the time, never thinks anything through all the way. And he, like, has this T-Rex chase after them, and he's like, why can't you grab him? And the T-Rex is like, I have a big head and little arms, and I don't feel like your plan was thought through very well. Alright, they finally got a Guzzlord. So I can stop distracting you with movie references that no one's gonna get. It's a little bit behind, but they could Lusamine and fix that. So the question is, do you put the energy on the Celesteela? Ooh, and they're going for the Goose. They're going for the Guzma, instead of the Goose Lord. Lord of the Goose. Yeah, they're going for the Celesteela. It won't KO the opposing Celesteela, even if it hits, but hey, it's a lot of damage. Boom! Moombahton! Very nice. I don't know if that matters at all. I mean, it was very impressive, but I don't know if it's going to matter at all. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe they could Cyrus that later. Maybe it's a Cyrus target later. But really, what matters is, can you destroy the opposing Guzma? Goose Lord. Sorry, there's too many Gooses. All the Goose. Can you defeat the opposing Goose Lord? That's what defines whether you win or lose this matchup. And their opposing Goose has a lot more energy. Quite a bit more energy. So the strategy here for Squad Zero is they're trying to pick off one of the basic Pokemon so that when they defeat the Goose, they win. And they don't have to worry about retaliation. Oh, they're playing a second one. Wow. With Celesteela going down, too. As long as they have another Celesteela in hand, though, they could always use Nihilego Retreat Tech to fix the problem. Interesting. I mean, yeah, you just happily Moombahton here. I wouldn't even put that Guzzlord on the bench. I wouldn't even put that Guzzlord on the bench. You want a Nihilego. That's not a Nihilego. That thing has a big mouth and no tentacles. It is the wrong Pokemon. Yeah, just Moombahton this. That's it. Moombahton away. You don't really need to do anything else. You get heads, that's a prize point. Why not take a prize point and get rid of a harassing Nihilego that has no energy, so it won't even Lusamine anything? It's great. Do it. The thing is, if they do, Celesteela is going to go down. But in exchange for Celesteela going down, the opposing Guzzlord will be poisoned, and you can Lusamine all remaining energy onto your Guzz. Unless you get Mars to red. That's the problem, really. Oh my goodness! Make a decision. 15 seconds. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. No! What? No, that's not even one of the moves. Well, retreat into it then. Why'd you... Mistakes were made. If you were gonna put that on the bench, at least use it as retreat fodder. At least use it as... But then again, you couldn't attack with your own Guzzlord if you had done that, so I guess you kind of need the Celesteela to go down. Okay, fair. I don't think they should have put it on the bench. I think just putting it on the bench was a mistake. But maybe they're worried about red, and maybe Nihilego wouldn't have helped. And if that's true, then it was the right move. I don't know. There's a lot to analyze here. Psyduck, I want you to take over the analysis. I can't keep up anymore. Well, that didn't work. It looks like the Celesteela is just going to get wrecked here. It is going to get poisoned. But because that Moombahton did not take out the Nihilego, and I mean, it's a 50% chance, so that makes sense, Squad Zero's in a bit of a pickle. I mean, this is not a good situation. They're going for the second one. Wow. That's not what I expected. But I guess you kind of have to. There's the Nihilego. They could... Hold on. 120 plus 20. Yeah, I think you just Lusamine, energy your Guzz, retreat into Guzz, sorry, not retreat, Ultra Thruster into Guzz, and attack. And their Guzzlord will die to the poison after it hits you, unless they can heal it. Yeah. Yeah, that's the move. That's the move they're doing. Good, 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 good. And then even when they switch into their secondary Guzz, you've got Cyrus Tech. Good to reapply the poison in case they Nurse Joy. Yup. Yup. Okay. Okay. Squad Zero's making the right moves. Making the right moves. Now, strictly speaking, the poison can get removed through a clever application of retreating. Like they could Ultra Thruster Nihilego, retreat Nihilego, and the poison is cleared. But that's pointless because the poison will just be reapplied anyway by the poison barb. So unless they have Guzma, that doesn't make any sense to do because you're just wasting energy. Unless you want more discarded energy for something, but that makes no sense. So yeah, I mean the quote-unquote right move here is probably just to attack. Do 120 damage, start powering up your Nihilego, and then just try to Cyrus snipe it later. But the reason they're worried about that is because if somehow you know Guzzlord can escape, they don't get Cyrus, they wear down the opposing Guzz. It's tricky. It's tricky. There's a lot that can happen. Yep. Yep, they're doing it. They're doing it. This is the continuation I think everyone agrees gives everyone the right the best chances of winning, which is funny. Which is funny, but this is the continuation that gives everybody the best chances of winning, and so it's the one that happens. But that's game. That's game. With Cyrus and finishing off the Celesteela, thanks to that successful Moonbaton, Squad Zero takes it. That was kind of stressful. I gotta say, that game was making me nervous. I was like, oh, 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 oh. Squad Zero takes the game, putting them 1 point away from winning. I cannot call that a clean victory. I cannot, in good conscience, call that a clean victory. It did seem like there was a lot of confusion, a lot of chaos, but ultimately Squad Zero took it. And Lotus, who's actually, I believe, the gym leader of Squad Zero, bringing it home for the win. All right. This could be the last game. This could be the last game. It all comes down to this. If Squad Zero wins this next game, they win. But if Kamikaze wins the next game, we will have a 9-9 score and the most tense match possible. The most epic, exciting match that could ever happen. A 9-9 match. I don't know what's going to happen. Here we go. Squad Zero gets to go second. That's a big advantage, provided they can draw something that's not a Celesteela. I see Steel. Mushroom. Oh my goodness. It's Mushroom. They're playing Mushroom. They're legit playing Mushroom. I can't believe it. Is that actually the Mushroom? Is it real? Is it real? It appears to be real. That is the mushroom they're playing. That means that it's a Solgaleo mushroom deck. The old version of the deck, not the Sylveon version, the mushroom version. This was like the signature version of Squad Zero. They didn't come up with it. I don't think they invented it, but they definitely took it and made it their own. The Mushroom Solgaleo deck was the Squad Zero deck, and Kamikaze chose it as the last deck to use against Squad Zero. Squad Zero knows this deck. They've prepped it in and out. They know every facet of it, and they've got their Nihilego, they've got their Guzzlord, they've got every single card they need. They got double Lusamine, they got the Poison Barb, they got everything. They drew everything, unlike last game. Squad Zero literally has the perfect hand. Put the freaking Celesteela on the bench. Nah, actually, maybe they want to leave room for double Nihilego, so Poison does more. I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure. Yeah, I don't know. That might be the right call. Leaving it empty might be the right call here. But either way, Squad Zero is in a good spot. Like, the Morelull will get one shot by a Nihilego. Is that true? No, only if there's two. Only if there's two. Yeah, Morelull won't get one shot if there's not two. They got it. On curve mushroom. That's big. That's big. The reason that I don't like the Mushroom Solgaleo deck is because if you brick on an early mushroom, you're doomed. But if you get an early mushroom, you just draw your whole deck. It's a very inconsistent deck, I found, if you can't draw mushrooms early. Like, and it's a little tricky, because you never know, do you want to start with a mushroom? Do you want to, start with a cause? But ultimately, if you get mushroom on curve like that, you just go crazy. But they got the second Nihilego! That's pretty good. That's pretty good. With the double Nihilego, they could put Poison Barb on the first Nihilego and do massive attack damage into that shroom. It's not getting out. Nothing short of a full Solgaleo will allow it to escape, and then Solgaleo will take Barb damage. Even if it KOs the first Nihilego, it'll still take 20 tick. Yeah, this is a situation where you definitely do put the Barb on the Nihilego, because you're expecting them to switch Pokemon. Alright, there's a new wave coming, I warn ya. That's gonna do 30 damage plus another 30 poison damage. But Solgaleo is almost certainly gonna come online this turn. How could it not? If Shiinotic pulls another Mushroom evolution, they'll get another pull. If they just pull Solgaleo, Solgaleo happens. There's another Mushroom. Now that pulls Solgaleo, because there's literally no other option in the deck it could pull. Solgaleo evolves. Energy. Rising Road. Solgaleo will knock out the Nihilego, but this version does not appear to be running the Apple Core that Squad Zero used very successfully. So it's going to take 10 recoil damage plus an additional 20 damage from the poison. Now that they've knocked out one Nihilego, it's been reduced from 30 to 20. That'll drop Solgaleo down to 150, which is still too tanky for Guzzlord to take out. Also, there's a very big risk that a second Solgaleo comes online. So there's a bit of a rush to try to do as much damage as quickly as possible. One option is going straight into Guzzlord and trying to grindcore, but that would only have a 1 out of 4 chance of being successful. And if it fails, you lose the game, effectively on the spot. Another option is you Lusamine the squid, so you Lusamine Nihilego. I guess we're just full sacking Nihilego? They're going for the grind core? Wait, really? Okay, I guess they've calculated that they lose the slow play, so this is their only chance to win, so this has to work. Didn't work. But yeah, respect for that. Respect for that. You know, if you do the calcs and realize, you know what, even if we sack a poke and slow play this, it doesn't work. That's fair. Yeah, there's the rare candy. There's the second Solgaleo. Poison wouldn't have been able to work. Lily. Yeah. Yeah, it's not happening. I'm just going to go ahead and update the scoreboard. We're going to get a final 9-9 game. It's all coming down to this. Might be a little preemptive. I'd be happy to be wrong, but I'm fairly certain that the game is won. So I'm just going to go ahead and update the scoreboard. And it's all going to come down to the last game. Oh wait, no, that's Kamikaze. So let me put it into their win column. Well, Kamikaze has 5 wins. Godwind indeed. Kamikaze. I guess it could also be Paper Wind, but that's not nearly as intimidating. Actually, Paper Wind would hurt, wouldn't it? Yeah, I mean, there's no surviving this. You can't. It's game. It's over. They're trying. They're trying, but the mushroom happened too early. Solgaleo mushroom does insanely well and should almost always win if you get an on-curve mushroom like they did. It was just too good. They got too many basics plus the on-curve mushroom. It's almost guaranteed that you draw every card you need very quickly. It just wasn't happening. That doesn't always happen with that deck. That deck can brick. I've tried that deck. It can definitely brick. I'm not convinced it's better than the Sylveon version, because the Sylveon gives you 1 card from Eevee and 2 cards from Sylveon, so even if you don't get the evolution, you can still draw cards. I think the Sylveon version's better for that reason. But we'll see. You know, on the other hand, it requires energy on Eevee, and this one doesn't. Or you could ignore the energy and just use Sylveon, but then you're stuck drawing 2, right? Ugh. This is it. I've already updated the scoreboard. This is it. This is the final game. It is going to come down to this. It is going to come down to 9-9. And that's it. 1 player will win. 1 player will win. Who's it gonna be? Kamikaze or Lotus? The future is still unknown, but pretty soon we will find out which of these 2 teams will take today's game. And this could have a direct impact on which one of them ends up going to the final tournament. All right, we get to see their deck a little bit. We got some Kiawe's, double Nurse Joy, 2 Eevee bags. It's a Turtonator Flareon EX deck. And it's missing the anti-Oricorio tech. I guess you don't need it though, because Turtonator is anti-Oricorio. Yeah, you don't need it. You don't need it because Turtonator does enough damage. Yeah, Turtonator Flareon EX. I like that. That's a good deck. That's a clever deck. Good start. And they're going second. That's on curve. That's on curve. Ooh, it's looking good for Squad Zero, but they could get red carded. They could get Marsed. There's so much. All right, we see an early Oak for Smogon. That's really good for Smogon. Pokeball, also really good for Smogon. The more basics they can put on the field, the more efficiently the mushrooms will be able to draw what they need. 2 basic, starting Mushroom. That's a good setup for both teams. Both teams have a very good setup right now. They're thinking about using Mars. It's -2 cards. They've already used an Oak and a Pokeball. Honestly, it's a pretty good Mars. Because you want to mess them up now in the beginning. Mars doesn't really matter later against Solgaleo. Not so much. I would put the Rocky Helmet on it. You do not want to get Marsed right now. They didn't put the Rocky Helmet. If they get red carded, it's their own fault. I guess it wouldn't matter anyway because you were drawing. Yeah, I guess because you're drawing, it wouldn't matter. I can't see what the enemy is playing because there's a giant Flareon in the way. It looks like a Pokeball? Yeah, it was a Pokeball. Okay, so they just drew a Pokeball. They got a second Cosmog. No Mushroom yet. Looks like the Mars was successful. Here we go. Flareon activates. Now, it's a little bit risky because Squad Zero doesn't really have any Pokemon in the back line. They've got nothing in the back. They have no fire energy in their discard pile. So they can't attack yet. That's an interesting thing about Flareon's ability. I didn't even know that. It has to be in the discard pile. Okay, they got the Mushroom. They got Illuminate. The Illuminate was another Morlul. But that means that next turn, they're drawing a Solgaleo, no matter what. No matter what happens next turn, they're either drawing a Solgaleo or a Cosmom. Has to be one. Because if they draw Shiinotic, that'll draw another Pokemon that will either be Cosmom or Solgaleo. Now, whether or not they have Rare Candy is another story. They might not have Rare Candy, but that's definitely coming online. Double Eevee bag, yo. That's plus 20 damage. That's sick. Another Kiawe. Not particularly helpful because they just don't have Turtonator. This is a little bricky. This is a little bit bricky. But Flareon will be able to use Fire Spin, which dumps 2 fire energy into the discard pile, meaning that going forward, Flareon will have the option of retrieving those using its ability, if it doesn't mind doing a little bit of damage to itself. If that's not a Shiinotic, that attack might have stopped the Solgaleo Cosmom by defeating the Crown Mushroom. Kamikaze is thinking, so I guess it's not an evolution. Or maybe it is an evolution. We'll see. This is an exciting match. I have no idea who's going to win. Okay, it looks like they didn't have it. Yeah, no, it looks like they didn't have it. So Flareon's going to have to self-damage to remove this Morlul. That will get rid of the Mushroom draws. That was smart. That mattered. That mattered. Because now, after Flareon self-damages, it will be in range of a one-shot from Solgaleo. That was smart. That was very smart, attacking it with the Morlul. I mean, it seems like the obvious thing to do, but some people don't. Luckily, Nurse Joy does exactly 30 healing, getting Flareon perfectly back to full health. It's got all the energy it needs. And it goes for a nice, easy Fire Spin here, picking up the Morlul. But, outside of this, Squad Zero's bricked. They have no more basic Pokemon. They haven't been able to draw any more basic Pokemon. Do they have it? If they don't have it, the game is over. Solgaleo right now or the game is over. The game might be over anyway. Not like this. Squad Zero has played too well to go out like this. Give them a Solgaleo. Yes! I willed it into existence. I willed it. Wait, but I don't have that power. Who has the power to do such a thing? I don't know. But either way, they got the Solgaleo, so we finally get our epic final moment. Now here's the thing, I don't think Solgaleo can attack. I don't think it can attack. It didn't. And it couldn't. I don't think Flareon attacks either. I think attacking is strictly wrong here. But I'm not sure. If it combusts and double Eevee bags, well, it could always single Eevee bag. That's an option. I don't know. I don't know what the right move is. Legit, maybe you just wait and then double Eevee bag. Because you win on double Eevee bag, but if you get red carded, you're doomed. Yeah, they're not chancing it. They're not chancing it. They're just going to go for it and then follow it up with a healing Eevee bag. This is the safe play. This is the safe play. Effect number 2 will heal it. They could play the second bag or not. It doesn't particularly matter. They're thinking about using red card. Whether that helps them or hurts them is not clear, but it could give them an oak. Alright, they just go for the attack. It does big damage. That was Giga Brain of Kamikaze, by the way, not to attack. Because they realized that double Eevee bag plus recoil would be just enough to kill them. Just enough. They got the oak anyway. They got the oak anyway. If that's a second Solgaleo. If that's a second Solgaleo. No! No! How did this happen? How did this happen? Oh my goodness. With one of the Eevee bags spent. With one of the Eevee bags spent. But they still didn't attack. They still didn't attack! Whoa! Why? Yo! Why didn't they attack? I'm so confused. They would have won. Maybe they were afraid of red. Maybe they were waiting on something. I don't know why they didn't attack. I don't understand it. But they were probably afraid of a ghost. I mean, the first time they did it, it was 300 IQ. The second time they did it, I feel like that was the blunder of a century. They would have won right there. Oh my goodness, I feel super bad for them when they watch this VOD and realize what happened. No, they would have won. They would have won right there, I think. Solgaleo attacks, Flareon wouldn't have been able to, because with Rocky Helmet, it would have taken it down to, let's see, 160, 150. No, they couldn't have attacked. Because it would have went down to 150, and Flareon can do 150 damage. Yeah, because of Rocky Helmet, they can never attack. They could only ever win if Flareon self-damages, so they could never have won. Even with the double Solgaleo, because of Rocky Helmet, it was never possible. That's wild. Rocky Helmet, Big Brain. I think they were trying to stall and wait for Guzma, or to try to trick Flareon into remaining in a state of self-damage, because if they didn't have Eevee Bag, they wouldn't have been able to pull it off, but they just couldn't get it. Flareon was the perfect counter for this. Flareon was the perfect counter for this, and Squad Zero saved it for the perfect moment. At the end of the day, I have to say that Team Smoggin was amazing. They held it together, they played really well, they picked really good decks. But in the end of the day, the reason Squad Zero won I can't say it was their teamwork. No, I can't say that. But the reason that Squad Zero won was because of their teamwork before the game. Before the game, when they built out these decks and planned their strategy. Overall, they picked the perfect decks. They built better decks. They built brilliant strategies. They were clearly ready to counter Zard with Solgaleo and counter Solgaleo with Flareon and counter other things with Arikaria. They came ready for absolutely everything that Team Smogon had to offer, and even after they dumped a couple games for nonsense, they still managed to win. The better planners won. And when Squad Zero fixes their comm problems, they're going to be the scariest team in the league. All right, major shout out to Smogon. Smogon, wow. You know, Judy! I didn't even realize Judy was on this team. Dang. Really amazing team. I root a little bit for Squad Zero when I do these streams, but seriously, you guys played amazing, fantastic games, really well done. I tip my hat to you. Going 9-10 against Squad Zero, very impressive. That could have gone either way. That last game could have gone either way. I feel like this set could have gone either way. It was very even. And well played again to the winners, Squad Zero, taking the W. Getting a very impressive lead, suffering a devastating comeback, and managing to bring it back together to play a very, very clean final game. A very clean final game. Well done. I think that final game was one for the books. It was very well played by both teams. Even if I think I was wrong when I was saying this one was going to win, that one was going to win. No, because the Rocky Helmet, I wasn't even calculating it right. But Squad Zero played it perfectly. Alright, this has been the Sneaky Dragon. If you want to see me commentate more stuff today, I don't know why you would, because this has been kind of long, and even though it's a lot of fun, but I will be doing the PLL later today, the finals for the PLL. You can watch it on there, Twitch. And my YouTube stuff this week will probably be a little bit slimmer, just a little bit slimmer, because I'm working on two very big, very awesome videos. So I think the stuff that I do put up is going to be a little quicker for the next week. But then, hopefully, we'll get some really nice, big, quality project videos up that I've been spending a lot of time on, like months on these. So, look forward to that. I'll catch everybody later, and have a great day. Now I gotta figure out how to stop the streaming. Let me see.